1080 News.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
How's your French going?
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Men, the new year is
1 minute.
many of us. You're going to make a resolution to improve your health. But if you're feeling sluggish and low energy, if your sleep patterns are off, if you've been working out and aren't seeing the gains you used to see, making that resolution may not be so easy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're feeling the way I just described, we can likely help you with that resolution because those symptoms probably mean you're suffering with low testosterone. And at Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating this condition. With our low T protocols, if you're like most men, the change will astound you. You'll feel more energy and better mental clarity. Your sleep will improve. Your workouts will be better, and you'll likely find your sex drive goes up as well. So call us today and get treated for your low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone,
Hinton.
your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlborough, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
You don't get red-pilled overnight. It's the issues that affect your everyday life first, and then you connect them with people, and then you connect it with a party. That is so true, and that is what I was trying to get across to people. When you're affected day to day by quality of life issues, and all you hear from the Democratic Party is shut up, no, it's not happening, and if it's happening, it's not that big of a deal. That really does red pill people. It builds resentment toward the party because they're gonna keep losing if they think that that type of treatment of voters, that type of disrespect toward voters is gonna get them anywhere.
Yeah!
What's going on, all you scallywags out there? Nutmeggers across the fruited plain, because a lot of you have moved. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Hold up.
What's that?
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
That's right. It is an airing of grievances Friday, and we're going to do something new and something familiar with the airing of grievances. And I actually got an email that got me to do this because I've always thought of you when I do the show. My wife can come in here and tell you, I put so much pressure on myself that sometimes she has to talk me off a ledge. My wife will come in and say, hey, what's going on? And I will go, the show, and, sometimes the news isn't doing the thing that I need it to do. So I can convey it in a certain way. It's Friday. It's a weird day. The only thing you can do is sort of use all the news of this week, and you almost feel like you're repeating yourself over and over again, and I hate that kind of programming. So my wife sometimes has to pull me off the ledge. Don't worry about it. You got this. And I need that because I've always got you guys in mind. So I got this email once, and it wasn't a complaint to me or to the show. It was a complaint about their own personal life. And I thought this was interesting. And the person who wrote the email said, Reese, I really, really love your show. I catch it as often as I can, and I sit through the entire 3 hours. But I can never call in, especially during the airing of grievances. And that I wish I could, because I know that I've got some stories or some anecdotes that you would love. And so in my head, I went, you know what? It shouldn't be limited to Friday. Hold on. It doesn't mean we're going to do airing of grievances every day. No. So I thought about it last night, and I said, you know what? What about the people who can't call in during Friday's show or during at any time? They're at work. They can't do it when they're driving. The phones may be, overloaded. So you know what? We're going to have a phone number. We're going to just give you a phone number, and you can put your rant, the airing of grievance, and you can put as many on there as you want. Just call, you leave a message. We're going to get the whole thing set up. It'll be like a voicemail. Just call up, leave your airing of grievances, and we will play them on Friday when other people, because not everybody calls with an airing of grievance. They may be talking about the news of the day, right? So not everybody has a grievance, but you won't miss your opportunity. So you can air it out. You got a grievance that happened on Monday? Hey, let everybody hear it on Friday. And guess what? If I know this audience, something you air your grievance about, someone's going to have either a beef with or they're going to agree with. Ask Matt in Bristol, who has had several people go after him about his airing of grievances, especially with the bike riders, as I like to call them, the Lance Armstrongs. It's not a slur. It's not a slur. I'm not saying that you're doping. I just call them Lance Armstrongs. He's the only bicyclist I know by name, okay? Unless you can come up with another guy's name, I just call them Lance Armstrongs. Every Sunday I see them. It's like 80 of them coming past my job. So anyway, so we're going to put that number up, and I'm actually going to make sure that you guys get it. If not by the end of the day, we'll put it up on Monday. We'll start putting the telephone number out there, and you can air your grievance. You can leave a message. I will chop them up, and I will air them for you. So the airing of grievance, you'll get your opportunity to do it if you have not been able to call so far. And we'll have a lot of fun with that. All right, and now for the opening monologue. I don't really have an opening monologue to really tell you, because I can go in about the news of the day, but the same two stories we're talking about, the Cybertruck and, of course, the New Orleans massacre, as it were. I don't want to get into that. But I do want to sort of I want to air out some dirty laundry, if I can.
Turn yourself up.
Okay, and the dirty laundry is, how do I put this? The dirty laundry is not like I'm gossiping about anything, but I never understood communication between people. And maybe because I'm an outgoing, gregarious person, I say what's on my mind. I was really bad at it when I was younger. I would say the thing that was on my mind, even though it wasn't politically correct or it was inartful. I would say whatever it was that was on my mind. I remember asking someone if they put on weight. I was like, wow, you're putting on some weight. And I said it to a woman. And I said it in a concerning tone, but I didn't know that you're really not supposed to say that to a woman. Again, lack of tact. And I didn't think it was funny. It was noticeable. I've done it. It's now, of course, I'm a little more reserved. But aside from that, I'm going down the weeds now. I've never had an understanding of people's inability to communicate with their friends or their family. I'll give you an example. This one's a really, really off the beaten path one. And if my ex-wife is listening, so be it, because she might even call in on this one. Her nephew used to have, when he was a teenager, he was about 15, 16 years old, he had some of the most, how what's the word I'm looking for? Above the pale body odor. It was odoriferous. It was really, really bad. He smelled like a teenager. And everyone from Virginia to Kathmandu could smell this boy. He obviously, hormones are raging at that age, and boys just smell. And he wasn't related to me. He was my ex-wife's nephew, her sister's son. She had known the boy his entire life. I barely knew the kid, but he would come out each summer to come and hang out, and I would kind of be stuck with him to, teach him the ways of the force. And then, of course, they said, can you do something about his body odor? Can you say something to him? And I'm like, why can't you folks say something to him? You've known him since he was a baby. And they were like, they just couldn't communicate with the boy. So, of course, I did what any man would do. I went down to the supermarket, and I came back with a 6-pack of, I guess it was Degree or whatever it was. Yeah, I came back with a 3-pack of Degree, and I just handed it to him, and I looked him right in his face, and I said, you know, I know, get to it. And just left it at that. So, sure enough, did he start using deodorant? Of course he did. But the fact that people couldn't even communicate with their own child, their own nephew, it's insane to me. So let me air the dirty laundry. We had the boy this weekend, my wife's son. He's 17, he's the baby. And he's growing up. He has a car, he has a driver's license, he's graduating in May. He doesn't want to visit us for the summer. We're fine. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm fine with that. He's a grown boy. Well, at least he's more than an adolescent. He's about to be an adult. And he's out there doing his own thing, and he doesn't want to have to keep coming home to mom every summer. And I get it. But his mother was she was a bag of goo, just crying and just could not, there was no consoling her at all. And so I said, what's wrong? Oh, he hates me. Oh, he can't stand the sight of me. He's running away. I failed as a mother. Now, she's listening. I know she is. She's going to be mad at me. Whatever. She knows there's an anecdote here. But she was absolutely distraught. And so on our daily walk, she started venting. And I look at her and I say, did the boy tell you he doesn't want to see you anymore? What happened? Like, what did I miss? And she goes, I just know he just doesn't want to see me anymore. I was like, wait. What did you ask him? And she goes, well, I asked him, did he want to come here for the summer? I was like, okay, how did he respond? He shrugged his shoulders and said, not really. And I said, and you took from that he hates you and no longer wants to visit you? Ladies, by the way, you're going to have to call me, 860-522-WTIC. What's the deal with that? Making, mountains out of molehills. You hear a person say this, and it means a dozen other things. Women are going to have to explain that to me. I'm still trying to get it. I know it doesn't mean what you think it means, but you think it anyway. I get it. But you have to explain to me how that operates, how the brain works like that. Guys, you don't need to call up. We know. But she completely had lost it on the idea that he didn't want to come and visit. So I'm like, you have to talk to him. You have to ask him what that means. You have to say how you feel. You have to actually communicate those things with the boy. He's 17. He's not a grown man. He does not know that when a woman says nothing's wrong, that something's wrong. He doesn't know that. He's too young to know. He's had one girlfriend. So I had to cool the temperature. Here's the worst part, folks, and I can't believe I did it. I had to put them in a room and close the door and force them to talk to one another. Now, thankfully, at the end of it all, they were right as rain. Thank the maker. But I'm always in my head. Now, Roland, I got to go to you because, again, you're a father of a teenage girl. You're married. And I know in my head, I know that I can literally predict this. Your wife has no problem communicating with your daughter, right?
No.
Not at all, right? This is completely alien to you that parents don't talk to their kids. Right? Am I?
Yeah. Well, I'm a totally different parent anyway. I'm like super straightforward and tell you exactly what to a point where my wife is like, maybe not be so straightforward.
She's telling you to tone it down a little.
Yeah, but I'm like, this is something that she needs to know because she's not gonna live with us forever.
Yeah, right. So again, preparing them so you can't leave anything unsaid, even in your relationship. You have to be straightforward and say what's on your mind because again, these are dynamics between a mother and a son that make the wrong move. Mother can feel it, and I'm thinking this in this way. Roseanne might get alienated with no reason by him rejecting coming to the house or saying, no, I don't want to come and visit. She can take that to mean he doesn't like her. He doesn't want to see her again. She's failed as a mother. And then she could literally live her life under that impression, which means that her relationship with him will start to disintegrate. Am I wrong there, Roland? Am I off the pale? Am I out of sorts here?
No, but it just blows my mind how the mind can trick you into believing something, and then you base your whole life off of that belief, and it could be totally wrong.
Having never had a conversation. That's what I'm saying. Having never talked. No communication, and would allow you for your brain to constantly build that thing up. Now, here's the crazy part. I just saw this on, I think it was on TikTok. And this guy, he's a very spiritual guy, but he says that you should think of negative thoughts as the devil speaking to you. When those negative thoughts start to come, those negative things and those vibes start coming to you, I want you to think of that as the devil communicating with you and reject them. And I thought that was interesting. And I said, yeah. When I start getting those negative thoughts, I'm talking myself into disaster. And it always worries me that that's going to be the case. But I'm trying to understand, why can't anyone just say what's on their mind to the people? Especially, you can't do that with everybody. I get it. You can't tell your coworker that when he smacks his gum, it annoys the hell out of you. You can't tell your boss that when he gives you more work and he's not doing anything, that he's not setting a good example. I understand in certain situations there's a level of decorum. But your family?
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to talk to the person that you got to live with every day and see all the time, and you don't want to hurt their feelings or whatever.
I feel like it, in my view, I think it's fear. But I mean, not to kind of feel like you're afraid of them, that you are afraid that that person may take your concerns the wrong way, and that would only make things worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that happens all the time.
Yeah, I think that in and of itself is the shell of all of it. It's like, that is really what it is. Like, what if I say something and I do it in an inartful way? As I said earlier, that used to be my problem. But, they're fearful of the way in which it's received or the tone that it's in. It's funny. I said this to him, Roland, the other day, because when she first asked him earlier in the visit, she said that he just shrugged his shoulders. He said, I don't know. It was before he came out. And then I walked into the house, and I said to him, hey, did your mother ask you if you want to come next summer? What did you answer? He just said, I shrugged my shoulders. And I was like, will you please, get off the pot? This is one of those things you're going to have to, pull the trigger on. You got to tell her. If you don't want to come, tell her now. Because to be honest with you, if you're not coming, I got plans. I'd like to be able to make them. You know what I mean? It's like, when you're not coming for the summer, I don't want my entire summer, 2025, to hedge on whether or not you're coming. So if you're not coming, tell her so that I can make plans and completely distract your mother about you not coming. And he's like, okay. And then he finally told her, and of course, the worst came out of it, and she cried anyway. It's just the worst.
The thing about it is, well, my sister, my side of the family, my mom's side of the family, we're very straightforward people, and sometimes people say we're aggressive in talk, but that's just the way we are. We just speak the truth, and sometimes it could come out hurtful, and the
But
people
you
in my
guys
family
understand
always
this-
say before they about to say something that may seem hurtful, they'll say, "Put your feelings in your pocket," because you got to hear what I'm about to say. So put your feelings in your pocket.
Put your feelings in your pocket and just say, I like that. I like that. I may start using that. Maybe I should ask. I don't want to demand. I should say, sweetheart, can you put your feelings in your pocket for a minute?
I have something to say.
Yeah, I have something to say, and I need your feelings right in your pocket. In fact, do me a favor. Don't put them in your pocket. Could you take your feelings and put them in a safe? Just put them in a safe for now. I don't want you reaching for them. That may be the thing I have to do. I may have to do that. Let's take a quick one before we get out of here. Peter's in Canton. How you doing, Peter?
I'm good. How you doing?
What's going on, sir?
Not too much. I guess some people are very sensitive, and you don't want to hurt their feelings, so you've got to be careful what you say to people, even your family.
Yeah, but
And
dude,
we're
what's the worst thing you had to tell a family member that you knew, like that went off the rails, so to speak? Like you tried to do it as artful as you can, but it still went off the rails. You ever had that situation?
Yeah. My sister talks too much.
I've been guilty of that.
I called her motor mouth. I said, "Be quiet, motor mouth."
Wow.
And she got all upset.
But you know what?
But,
Did it embarrass her to the point where she was a little more resolved? Like when she stopped talking as much?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, but then a couple other people joined in and said, "Yeah, Peter's right. You are motor mouth." So, but,
They ganged up
but,
on her. That's not good.
Are you ready to laugh?
Sure, go for it, buddy.
Here you go. Is there anyone in the stadium that can kick a field goal? Our field goal kicker just got hurt. Is Reese from WTIC in the stadium? We need a field goal kicker now.
Yes, absolutely. I am your guy. I am there in a heartbeat. You clearly know. You really know how to tug at my heartstrings. I'm
Negative.
I do.
I really,
I
really.
remember you said that.
I want
And
that.
I
Listen
thought
to me.
that was
I want that opportunity more than anything, Peter. You have no idea. Just give me a shot. All I want to do, listen, I believe that I'll be able to kick it, but I'll take the L even if I miss. If I go wide right,
yeah.
I'll just tell everybody to call me Scott Norwood for the rest of my life.
Just kick it quickly. Kick it quickly and get on the ground because they're awful big.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't want any of that smoke, my friend. I don't want none of that. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate you, sir. Yeah, in a heartbeat. You give me that opportunity. I don't care. I don't care if the team is dead last in the entire league. Forget about the NFC East. Just get me any opportunity. I will take it. It's got to be a blowout. Or you know what? It's got to be a blowout where like they've got no shot, they've scored no points. The opposing team has like 51, on the board. When they've got completely no chance and no hopes. You know what? If you make this field goal and at least put us on the board, we'll give you a one-day contract. And I'll sign it. I'll get my own jersey. I'll just do that. That should be a context. They want to play. You want to improve on the NFL? Have one of those. Have one of those contests. Yeah, I'm kidding. Trust me, somebody will take advantage of that in a heartbeat. Let's take a break. Yeah, call the Browns. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. I've got to talk about U-Haul and Connecticut. I promised you guys this year that I'd have that number. Where there's a report out in Connecticut, Inside Investigators, that's talking about how Connecticut fared in states that are receiving or losing U-Haul trucks. We'll break it all down when we get back. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Columbia Implant Center in Manchester offers the leading edge in technology, which allows for dental procedures, start to finish in one day. From a single tooth replacement to complete reconstruction, we do it all. Call 860-730-6020 or ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Hey guys, it's Jim Costa from Cash the Ticket. If you're planning on betting the NFL playoffs, buckle up. Betting football's hard enough as it is. We're doing the research for you. So listen to Cash the Ticket with Mike Valeni and I. We'll be dropping new episodes for every single playoff game. And that's going to be storylines leading into it, so some good football stuff, but also the betting nuggets you're looking for. Sides, totals, trends, player props, throw those in there too. Pre-game and post-game, we're going to be all over the postseason. Subscribe to Cash the Ticket on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
And now, a WTIC news update.
37 degrees in Hartford, 3:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. In the forecast, high in the low 40s, windy this afternoon, low around 25 tonight. Mike Johnson was staring at a loss in the first round of voting for House Speaker. 3 Republicans voted against him, but after meeting with Johnson, 2 changed their votes before voting was closed out. That gives Johnson the speakership again by a razor margin. The final tally, Johnson 218, Democrat Hakeem Jeffries 215, with other getting 1 vote. With President-elect Trump in Palm Beach, CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports there was high-level arm twisting.
There were phone calls reportedly here in the last hour or so between officials here in Palm Beach and there in Washington to get those lawmakers over the line. But it's a reminder that given the closely divided nature of the House, where there are going to be 3 Republican vacancies very soon because those 3 are set to take positions in the Trump administration, and where there's only a 3-vote margin over in the Senate with a handful of moderates who may swing one way or the other, we are entering a very closely divided, if Republican-controlled time in Washington that could lead to a lot of messiness as Republicans try to achieve their goals.
The 2 Republicans who switched their votes to Johnson are Keith Self of Texas and Ralph Norman of South Carolina. As New Orleans gets back to normal business 2 days after the pickup truck attack on Bourbon Street, there's a reminder that some are still fighting for their lives. 14 were killed. CBS's Katie Weiss is there.
We know, though, that more than 35 other people were injured. We know one of those people who was critically injured is a college student with the University of Georgia. You know, there was a big game here scheduled for New Year's Day at the time involving the University of Georgia football team. So we know one of those fans was critically injured. They're still in the hospital.
U.S. Army vet Shamsuddin Jabbar was fatally shot by police after plowing his truck into pedestrians celebrating New Year's Day. The New Orleans City Council has now opened an investigation into Bourbon Street security before the attack. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 327 points. S&P climbing 73. NASDAQ is up 325. And the forecast.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun, the high 42, though it'll feel like it's in the 30s with the gusty winds. Partly cloudy tonight, cold to low down to 25. Windy and colder Saturday with clouds and sun, the high 33 is going to feel like it's well down in the 20s with the strong northwest winds. Then Sunday, low clouds, another windy and cold day, the high 33, feeling like it's well down in the 20s again. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
37 degrees right now. Sports, NBA Celtics in Houston, the Knicks at OKC, men's college basketball, CCSU at St. Francis. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000. 4000.
Where will 2025 take you? With an education from University of Maryland Global Campus, it could take you towards your next success. An accredited state university, UMGC helps working adults like you learn the skills you need for the career you want. And with no application fee through February 12th, there is no better time to start. Choose from more than 135 degrees and certificates in career-relevant fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Plus, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, no-cost digital resources in place of textbooks for most courses, personalized support, and lifetime career services. And with transfer credits and scholarships for those who qualify, UMGC can help you take a leap forward no matter where you are in your education journey. Classes start soon. Apply now and get your application fee waived through February 12th. Visit umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof.
Hold on a minute.
$1 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered... So call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
No doubt. It's Reese on the radio. News Talk 1080 WTIC. Little microphone fiend there for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC. That's Rakim. I'm still trying to figure out who builds a homemade plane and flies it. Some guy built a homemade plane. 19 people injured, 2 people killed. A homemade plane. Not since the Wright brothers. I don't understand it, but apparently that happened. I'm looking at the story right now. We'll get to your phone calls in a quick second. There is a story I told you was going to be coming out this year. just after the new year. The story comes out every year. Full disclosure. Again, I've worked for U-Haul off and on for, I want to say, 10 years, since 2013, like 12 years now. And I first started working as a reservation manager and then moved up to an area field manager and a traffic control manager, which is, again, it's just upper management, just running one marketing company in the Northern Virginia area. And I got to know a lot, not just about the self-move business. What I really got to learn is about how people migrate. And when you're a guy who's in the radio talk show host sphere, those things are always a part of what we do as talk show hosts. Where are people moving from? Where they're moving to? This is very important to the folks over at U-Haul. And what that means is that's how their pricing is set. So if you've got a lot of trucks or trailers going to one particular part of town, pricing is going to affect that. Moving out of that town. I'll give you a small example. Now I'll get to the phone calls. Small example of that is, I'll give you one that I'm very familiar with. From D.C. to Richmond, Virginia, it's about 95, 100 miles away. If you see a lot of people moving from D.C. to Richmond, not that that happened, but if you saw it, if you saw a whole bunch of trucks and trailers going to Richmond, that meant that Richmond had a lot of trucks and trailers sitting there. It meant that no one was moving out, and the trucks are sitting there. No one's making any money off of them. They're just sitting there. So what do you have to do? You have to incentivize those trucks leaving. People might go to Budget. People may go to Penske, whatever that case may be. It's not that they're not moving out of Richmond. It just means that they're probably finding other alternatives, like moving themselves or going to a moving company to compare pricing. But they're not renting a U-Haul, and U-Haul is, in essence, the cheapest way to go. But if there's a whole bunch of trucks in Richmond, it means that a lot of people are moving to Richmond, either for job opportunities or whatever the case may be, cost of living. They're all down that list. So we keep an eye on that so that we can price based upon that. So we need to incentivize. We need to tell people, hey, instead of going one way to Richmond, hey, why don't you drop off in Midlothian, or why don't you drop off in this town that doesn't have a lot of trucks, and we'll save you $300-400 if you're willing to drive this distance to get trucks in that area. That's how that operates. Well, that list comes out every year. And every year, U-Haul puts out a list that says, where are people moving to and from? And Connecticut, of course, is on that list. And Connecticut ranks 41 out of 50 states. That means Hawaii is higher than Connecticut when it comes to moving. Seriously. There are more people leaving Connecticut than are moving into Connecticut. Let me get a pull quote from this article. Across all states, South Carolina had the highest rating, followed by Texas, North Carolina, Florida, and Tennessee. Those 5 states also ranked highest in 2023, but in a different order. State-to-state transactions from the past year reaffirm customers' tendencies that have been pronounced for some time. This, according to John Taylor, the president of U-Haul. Migration to the southeast and the southwest continues as families gauge their cost of living and job opportunities, their quality of life, and other factors that go into relocating to a new state. Out-migration remains prevalent to a number of markets across the Northeast, Midwest, West Coast, and particularly California, which, by the way, on the list ranks last for the last 5 years. Cost of living or cost of housing continues to be high in the Northeast, with the average price of a single-family home in Connecticut for 2024 costing $406,715. That figure is up 6.7% from 2023. So they're not moving here. Cities that saw the highest number of inbound one-way traffic, this is people moving in. Cities that saw the largest number of inbound one-way traffic were Bristol, Colchester, Groton, Guildford, Hamden, Manchester, New London, Norwich, Pawcatuck, I hate saying that word, Windsor Locks, Danbury, Waterbury, and Norwalk. They saw the same amount of inbound and outbound one-way traffic. So in other words, the same amount of people who move in are the same amount of people who move out. Connecticut had the second lowest growth across New England states. Only Massachusetts ranked number 49. It was lower. Massachusetts, they remained the same as the previous year. Maine was the only one out of all the states, and I'm still trying to understand why, but I have some suspicion. Maine was the only state that jumped from the 31 position to 13. Maine was the only place that grew. Now, I believe there's a reason for that. I'm not going to say, because immediately people are going to start saying, oh, that's racial. I don't think it's racial. Just think that we know that. If I'm correct, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, if you're from Maine or lived in Maine, tell me if I'm wrong. There is a huge Somali population in Maine and is growing. If I'm wrong, correct me, unless it's another country from Africa. Ralph is in South Carolina. How you doing, Ralph?
Hanging in there, kiddo. How about you?
What's up, sir?
I have a question to ask you. Watching Hakeem Jeffries talking about working with Republicans now and saying that prices of this, prices of that, prices of homes, everything is too high.
Yeah.
And then saying what a great job Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did.
Yeah, they did such a good job, the American people rejected them.
Right, and that's why prices are so high, because of what they did in 4 years. It reminds me of a guy driving his car into a brick wall and then blaming the brick wall for being there.
Really? Actually, I would have said driving my car into a brick wall and saying, look how well the brick wall performed.
I told you could look at it that way. But the point, that I am trying to make, I mean, these people are such hypocrites. I'm sorry, and I go, it's not just one party. They're such hypocrites and lowlifes, and they think the American people are a bunch of idiots. And to a point, a lot of them are, because you keep voting, again, with Connecticut, voting for the same people year after year after year. The state's a mess.
Well, wait a minute. Now, Ralph, if you really think about it, I mean, the story that I just read from the U-Haul data, right, it looks like, Connecticut is reaping what they sow. People are moving out. In essence, to be 41 out of 50 states in Connecticut, and it means that the number, and again, that number is, I think the number last year was 42. So we only went up one, right? The state only went up one notch, but it's still in the it's in the lower rung of states people are moving to, which means that whatever's happening here isn't working.
Did you notice what number one was?
What's the name? South Carolina is number one. That's right. And you guys moved up. You guys moved up. Was it 3 positions? You overtook Texas, which was number one for 4 years.
Well, I'll tell you, I talked to a lot of people down here, and there's a lot of people from Connecticut who are now relocating down here.
Yeah.
And with good reason. The taxes are huge. And I think I told you this before, Reese. I'll be redundant, say it again. I have a 1,200 square foot home.
Only 1,200 square feet?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a half-acre lot. I'm one street up, what we call the marsh with the ocean. One street up. And because they have a break for seniors over 65,
right,
like the Homestead Act that they do have in Florida, my taxes on this home are $700 a year.
Wow. Connecticut, according to this study, what is this? This is, Mark Fitch, our good friend Mark Fitch, wrote this article last year. He was the one in charge of this article last year. Last year, U-Haul dropped 14 places in U-Haul moving. 14. That was last year's study. So here we are. It only moved one. It moved up one after it moved 14 spots down the year before.
Right, but you got to realize, too, part of the equation, Reese, is a lot of these people, they're buying second homes down here.
Yeah, okay, so that means that, of course, it's much wealthier. Connecticut, you can buy a home in South Carolina because the cost of living is night and day.
Yeah, they're starting to go crazy here too. Trust me.
I bet. Well, yeah, because again, the market is growing, or at least the demand is growing. So, of course, you're going to see the cost go up. Indeed.
Exactly. And the thing, too, is people from the Northeast and Midwest, they're selling their homes. You can sell a home up there for $500,000-$600,000.
I know.
Come down here and buy that same home for $250,000-$300,000. So now you've got a house that's paid for, and you got money in the bank.
Quality of life, sir. There's again, ask yourself a question. I'm either going to deal with the high taxes and the very, very brutal winters of Connecticut, or I can move down to South Carolina where I might get a snowstorm or a nor'easter now and again.
Well, last time we had snow here, I was here 5 years ago. We had 4 inches, but that was the first time in 20 years.
Yeah.
And my advice to you, Reese, is come on down.
Oh, trust me, I knew that was coming, sir.
Come on down.
You got it, Ralph.
You will love it down here.
I know I would. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. We'll take a break. We'll come back. I got 2 more calls on hold, so please stand by, guys. We will get to you, I promise. Yeah, Connecticut, I don't know what you do. I don't know how you reduce the cost of living. Fingers crossed for 2025. Just fingers crossed. What can you do? We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we'll get our first check of the traffic with Mark Christopher when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott understands that divorce can be intimidating, and the decisions you make today will impact your life forever. Divorce is complicated. There's a lot at stake when considering your future. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of family attorneys have over 100 years of combined experience and understand every family law case is different. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer, you get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Katie Bissonette is responsible for the content of this ad.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS.
1 minute.
Afraid to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Straight to the phones we go. Matt's in Bristol. I guess I invoked your name about the Lance Armstrong, so I guess it's only appropriate that you call. What's going on, Matt?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
Hello.
How are you doing, sir? That's okay. I love when you bump my name, and it makes me feel special.
Good. I'm happy for you. What you got going on?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would agree with you about not building your own plane, because I had this friend Icarus that tried to do it, and it did not end well at all.
Let me guess. You flew too close to the sun.
That's exactly what. It's almost like you read my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or the
it's
story.
Exactly what happened.
So listen. Do you have a problem communicating with family members? Like, do you just keep to yourself, or do you keep better left unsaid? Is that your thing?
No, matter of fact, that's what I was calling in about. I am with Roland 1,000% on this one. I am brutally honest, and I expect people to be brutally honest with me. Like if I smelled bad and someone let me leave the house knowing that I smelled bad, I'd be so angry at them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I had a similar situation to that, and I was really upset. I was like, why wouldn't you tell me if that? It's like someone not telling you have a booger on your nose.
Yeah, or like, hey, that outfit just does not look good on you, or whatever it is. Like, yeah, I'm brutally honest with people, and I want them to be brutally honest with me. I'm with Roland 100% on that.
I'm always concerned because, like I said, I do believe this. And the only reason why I agree with both you and Roland is because having to see my wife invent what she thought her son was saying no, I don't want to come this summer. I don't want to be there this summer. And how she invented all of this stuff about him not liking her, him hating her. She's a bad mother because he doesn't want to visit. And it's funny because when I asked him on the side, I was like, seriously, what's the real reason why you don't want to come? And it's the funniest thing, Matt. His response was, it's just too damn hot. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And
yeah, which means that you don't come down to South Carolina. You're coming up to South Carolina.
Indeed.
For the last call.
But the other part is that also sucks, and I kind of feel bad for him, is we bought him a car. He was here for a week where he knows no one. And he doesn't have a car. So he's I almost feel like he's stuck in a prison with his mother and stepfather. Because he has to go everywhere we go. We would lend him the car, but where would he go anyway? And he doesn't know anybody out here. He's got no one to even chill out with. So
he didn't grow up there? You guys
no,
went down there after?
At all, exactly. So in essence, I feel like he's a 17-year-old boy. How could he not feel like a prisoner? Like, how could he not?
Oh, he would. No, absolutely. That's not a very fun trip for a 17-year-old when you're stuck in a house with your parents and have no friends around to go hang out with. It's not a real fun trip.
No, exactly. And especially when he has a car. His mother even asked him, she goes, do you miss your car? He goes, you have no idea. And that's his whole thing. He told me this. I got to take a break in a second, but he told me this. This was actually funny. So his father's wife, his stepmother there, he says that when we lived close by, he would lie to them and say, I got to go to my mom's house to go pick something up, just so he could run to the local Wawa to go grab a hoagie because she doesn't allow him to eat out. So he can get in his car and he can drive someplace. And I said, that's freedom to a kid. He runs out and he grabs his snack. He can't do that here. He can't even get to the nearest store. That's why. It sucks for him. I don't blame him for not wanting to be here. So anyway, Matt, thank you, sir. We got to go our first check into traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, Mark? Happy Friday to you.
Hey, Reese, happy Friday to you and everyone. Southbound 91 coming into Hartford, delays 33, down to 32 A and B. If you're on the northbound side of I-91, look for slow traffic as you move up by 33 Jennings Road in Hartford. Westbound 84 looking good. Vernon out into Farmington. 84 eastbound slightly slow. 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 looking okay. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. If you are traveling on the westbound side of 691, you're going to see some delays now as you move Meriden from exit 3 out to exit 5 in Southington on the westbound side of 691. If you're traveling in toward Waterbury right now, westbound 84 a little tight from exit 22 into the Mixmaster, and heading down in toward to New Haven. Southbound Parkway a little slow approaching the West Rock Tunnel. South 95 slows from exit 40 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun, the high 42, though it'll feel like it's in the 30s with the gusty winds. Partly cloudy tonight, cold to low down to 25. Windy and colder Saturday with clouds and sun, the high 33 is going to feel like it's well down in the 20s with the strong northwest winds. Then Sunday, low clouds, another windy and cold day, the high 33, feeling like it's well down in the 20s again. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Mystic, Hamden, Putnam. When you want local news, turn to WTIC News Talk 1080, reporting on the local stories that affect you. From Manchester to Mystic, Hartford to Hamden, and Putnam to Plymouth, one radio station has your local news and breaking news as it happens. WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen on your radio, smart speaker, and on your phone with the free Odyssey app. WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
36 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. After some high-level arm twisting, Republican Congressman Keith Self of Texas and Ralph Norman of South Carolina changed their votes to back Mike Johnson for House Speaker.
CBS News special report. Meet the new speaker, same as the old speaker.
The 56th Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, the Honorable Mike Johnson.
That came after a roll call which didn't give Johnson enough votes to win, not until two Republicans changed their minds. Johnson spoke about the New Year's attack in New Orleans.
These are difficult days in our home state of Louisiana, where I come from. We all know about the terrorist attack in New Orleans, and it's really shaken our state. People are reeling from that attack. It took the lives of 14 innocent people, and it injured dozens more.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe says expect quick action on Donald Trump's agenda.
Right when most Americans are expecting him to do things, it's the furthest point away from the next election. And all expectations are that Republican-led House and Senate will move quickly and aggressively to try to get as much done as quickly as possible before the summer, really.
CBS News special report. I'm Peter King.
The final vote was Johnson 218, Democrat Hakeem Jeffries 215, other garnered 1 vote. The Connecticut delegation, all Democrats, have returned. Congressman Joe Courtney for his 10th term. He told WTIC's Brian and Company his party should take disappointing election results to heart in putting together a more centrist agenda.
In my campaign that I just went through, that was our message. It was very much focused in terms of trying to connect people to job openings in the district, looking at ways to help our ag sector recover from just a brutal couple of years with weather events that are out there.
He was a guest on WTIC's Brian and Company. Memorial events for former President Jimmy Carter are just getting started. CBS's Mark Strassman has a rundown. He says tomorrow the hearse carrying Carter will drive to the family peanut farm in Plains, Georgia.
Carter will lie in repose at the Carter Center in Atlanta on Sunday and Monday. Next Tuesday and Wednesday in Washington, D.C., he'll lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda. And on Thursday will be his state funeral at the National Cathedral. President Biden is expected to give one of the eulogies. Carter will then have one final homecoming. He'll come back here to Plains for a private burial on the family property. He'll be buried next to his wife of 77 years, Rosalind.
The Surgeon General calling out a warning that will surprise some.
Surgeon General Vivek Murthy says alcoholic beverages should carry a warning label like cigarettes. Current labels warn of the dangers of drinking while pregnant or operating machinery, but the connection between alcohol and cancer has been known since the 1980s. And yet Murthy says a majority of Americans are unaware of the threat. Drinking raises the risk of at least 7 types of cancer. It's linked to more than 16% of all breast cancer cases alone.
CBS's Cammie McCormick. An online shopping surge.
Adobe Analytics reports that holiday online spending topped $241 billion, a nearly 9% gain from the 2023 holiday season, with mobile shopping making up an even larger majority of online purchases than the previous year. 3 categories were responsible for well over half of all online sales: electronics, apparel, and home furnishings, each seeing strong gains from a year ago, with electronics seeing the heaviest discounting of any category.
CBS's Jason Brooks reporting. On Wall Street, they're in the green today. The Dow was up 340, S&P up 74 points. The Nasdaq was plus 341. In sports, the NBA, Celtics in Houston, the Knicks at Oklahoma City, men's college basketball, CCSU at St. Francis. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients.
Hold on a minute.
Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today. And stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlborough, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we're back. Let's go straight to the phones. My good friend Juan is in East Hartford. I haven't talked to him in a while. Happy New Year to you, sir. Juan?
¿Se tiene cuenta en algún? Oh, hey, how are you?
How are we doing, Juan?
I was on hold and I got.
It's okay. Did we catch you at a bad time? It sounds like you were ordering food. Are you ordering food?
No, I'm trying to pay one of my guys.
Oh, no problem. What's going on with you, sir? Happy New Year to you.
Oh my God, you got a lot of problems. You're talking about your wife on the radio in a manner that I don't know. I would probably get something cut off from my body.
She's heard. Listen, she heard me. I even checked with her. I said, "Are you upset with me?" She was like, "No, not at all."
No, but you redeem yourself because the way you told the story, you went from bad to worse to better. So that was pretty good. But you know what inspired me to call you is you talked about the RV10 that crashed.
Yes.
Over a warehouse in California.
Yeah, California. Yeah.
Okay, and then you made the comment, a home built plane.
Yeah, who does that?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Somebody just told me that in the chat room. Kevin L said homemade planes are more popular than you think.
RVs been around for a long, long time, and they're home builds. They sell you a kit, okay? You can't just, like, Reese, you can't just call them up and buy a kit and have it shipped to you.
Right.
Okay? You have to prove that you have the ability to fly,
right,
or that you have engineering background, that you know what you're doing, somehow.
But a lot of people do this even under those circumstances.
There's 3 of them being built in Hartford right now.
Wow.
There's people who build this in their basement, and it takes them 10, 15 years to do it. They take it out of their basement into pieces, bring it to the local airport, put together the pieces, and then, all of this is built is done under the supervision of a certified mechanic. That airplane cannot lift its wheels off the ground until it's signed off by a certified mechanic.
Wow. So this was obviously, do you think this was pilot area or mechanical?
Oh, I don't.
I don't know. We're going to find out the details. But now that now that you told me that it's more popular, you and Kevin say it's more popular, I'm going to investigate even further now. I'm never going to do it, but I'm going to investigate it just because.
No, I mean it's very, very common. Like Oshkosh is the biggest air show in the country. If you go to Oshkosh, you'll probably run into maybe 4,000 or 5,000 home-built airplanes.
Wow. Thank you, Juan. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, you never wanted to build a plane, did you?
No.
Would you fly in would you build a homemade plane? I mean, would you fly in a homemade plane?
No. No, thanks. I'm going to leave that to
the
Boeing
professionals.
And Pratt & Whitney, and they make the engines. Yeah, I'm going to leave it to those guys.
Exactly.
So, General Electric.
Yeah.
Cessna. There's some pretty good companies out there that build some pretty reliable
Been
planes.
around here for a while.
Yes, exactly. Southbound 91 coming into Hartford got delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, that's an easy ride. Cromwell through downtown up into Winter. Westbound 84, a little tight tunnel out to 46 Sisson Avenue. 84 eastbound, you'll lose a little speed. 46 into the tunnel. 291 through 84, no problems east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Heading toward Waterbury, 84 westbound, slow traffic 22 to 18. If you're traveling down in toward New Haven, southbound Parkway a little slow as you move up on the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 southbound some delays, 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
As we head into tonight, it'll be partly cloudy and cold. The low dropping down to 25 for us. Windy and colder over the weekend, too. Starting with Saturday with a mix of clouds and sun, the high 33 is going to feel like it's well down in the 20s at best. It remains breezy with the low clouds lingering Saturday night, the low down to 25. Low clouds persist through the day on Sunday as it remains windy and quite cold with highs at 33, but again, feeling like it's well down in the 20s at best with the strong winds. Danbury 35, Bridgeport 37, 34 in Bristol, and 37 in Hartford right now. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance, and cover your furry friends with pet health insurance. Life is uncertain, but Columbia Dental guarantees same-day care 7 days a week with dentists and dental specialists plus an on-site dental lab in Manchester. For over 25 years, they've delivered the convenience you deserve because your dental health shouldn't have to wait till Monday morning. Visit ColumbiaDental.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
And we're back. Kevin L is in the chat room. He's giving me all this information about these planes. I didn't know that you could actually build one. I didn't really know that it took that long. Could you dedicate that much time to something? No, it was way too much time. He said you can't just build it and fly to Florida. You have to prove itself in stages, and time after time it goes up. It can fly a little further. That is like painstaking. Look. My deal is, and I'm going to tell you this. First of all, I'm 6'3". I'm afraid of heights. Okay? Look at that oxymoron. 6'3", I'm afraid of heights. I hate to fly. But if I had to play, if I was a guy where everybody in the world had to have a video game of choice, do you know what my video game always is? Flight Simulator. Always is. I don't know. It's something with airplanes. It's weird. I don't know why, but it's an opportunity to be on the ground and sort of experience flying, if that makes sense. It's kind of like how my weird brain works. But I don't think I could ever take up the sport of flying. Also, another weird anecdote. When I can't get to sleep at night, I pretend I'm flying. I close my eyes and I pretend that I'm flying through the air. Not like Superman, but actually just floating through the air. And that usually gets me to sleep. But yet, physically, I'm afraid to fly. It's very, very weird. I don't know why. Tom is in Thomaston. What's going on, sir?
Hey, hello, Reese. Hey, Reese, so my car radio, my antenna won't work. So all I can get is a local FM station and a public, I say I'm from Thomaston, but I really live in Torrington. We have a public radio station. And they play great music. Rock and roll, blues, great music. But in the midday, they pick up a syndicated show. Have you ever heard of Democracy Now?
Of course, it's everywhere. It's a very, very left-leaning show.
Oh my God, they are vile, Reese. She brought on some guy. He was a Gulf War vet, supposedly served for 5 years. He did none but trash the military, saying it makes soldiers into killing machines and that they look for guys that want to kill. And they totally blamed the 2 car bombings, because they were ex-military.
Yeah.
They blamed it all on Trump and the military. It was disgusting.
It's it's funny because that particular show, Democracy Now, I think I watched it once in my life. And I usually get feed from it all the time. Like somebody say, hey, did you see this? And I'm like, ugh, it's a repulsive network, like show or whatever it is. But it apparently has been around forever. I think this show has been around since I was in my late teens, early 20s. It's been around.
I remember, I really liked the idea that this public radio station was going to come on. So I was all in support of it. And then I heard that it comes on like they must pick it up syndication.
Sure.
Like
yes,
12
it is.
to 3 or 2.
It's out of Washington. It broadcasts out of Washington.
They were crazy back then. And I said, I'm never listening to this stupid radio station again.
They are really, they're beyond the pale. No one, listen, the people who go on that show or who are, it's really fringe and radical. And it's supposed to come off in a very NPR-like way. But it's beyond the pale.
It makes NPR look news.
You're 100% right.
The city, I hope the city doesn't pay for it.
Yeah, but you know what? It's funny. It's like when you catch it, it's one of those things like, how do I say it? It's like a shooting star, that show. If you catch it, it's only by accident. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it is. But yeah, you got to, you know what? Listen, I give you props for because you obviously went through you sat there and listened to most of it, right? Or at least a little bit of it.
I listened to that nutball ex-veteran for about 15, 20
minutes.
But
no, listen to me. Let me tell you why that's a good thing, Tom. Because on any other side of the aisle, as it were, right? You don't give that a chance. Like the people on the left would never give my show a chance. They'll just bash it off the first, 5 minutes. Did you hear that guy? He said this, that, and the third, and never listen to it again, but have every opinion written to man, about the show, having never listened to it. And then when you ask them about it, you say, have you ever listened to the show? I don't have to listen to it to know. You at least ventured.
Yeah, I kept listening, saying, well, geez, maybe they're going to have a little moderation. It's coming.
Yeah.
Not once.
But see, this is what makes you a conservative, is giving something a fighting chance even when it lets you down. It's how I got divorced 3 times. Thank you, Tom.
I'll say have a good day.
You got it, man. You too. Dave is in Brantford. How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, quick. Going down memory lane. Reese, when I was a kid, reading Popular Mechanics back in the 60s and 70s, I think the company was Benson, and they had what was called the Benson gyrocopter, that when they showed the pictures, it looked like an aluminum lawn chair hanging from a bunch of straps.
I do remember that.
A Volkswagen Beetle motor hung out the back to push you forward, and the overhead blades, which looked like a helicopter, but it was unpowered. So it was called an auto gyro. So just the forward motion through air spun the prop. And talk about vertigo nightmares. I can imagine hanging in a lawn chair a couple of 100 feet above my backyard, in my Benson gyrocopter.
That's the part that scares me the most. We have, near our house, we have helicopter rides for as cheap as $30, Dave. $30.
I have a question for your expert audience. Maybe you know. And because of Jimmy Carter died, when we tried to rescue the hostages in the desert back in '79, and all the helicopters, they ran into each other in the dark. I recall a story about how they ran them without the air filters to get like 110% of full power. And of course, with all the sand and the dust in the desert, they would have self-destructed their turbines. But, successful mission was the name of the game. I don't recall reading anything about running our Avco Lycoming, jet engines in the copters without the air filters.
I
And
never
I've never
heard
been
that.
able to come across that information since. That we ran them without the air filters, and with all the sand and the dust, it would have self-destructed the turbine blades inside the motor. And I've never seen any more about that story. Who decided we were going to do that, to run those helicopters to death? Because the mission trumped everything else. And I've never found any information, technical specs about, what did the air filters do in terms of eating up horsepower. And obviously they would have got clogged up because they came in low and slow, in the dusty
Yeah, that's an
desert to
interesting.
save the hostages.
That's an interesting. And we didn't do this mission at all, did we?
Well, we did, and the helicopters ran into each other on the
Oh,
ground.
okay. I thought I was talking about a successful mission.
No,
run.
this was,
okay.
The pictures in the newspaper said disaster in the desert. It was
Oh,
one
okay.
of our most humiliating missions up to that point.
Wow.
And
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Have
the
a
question's
successful
out there.
new
We'll see.
25.
We'll see if anybody knows about it. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks for letting me on.
You
Bye.
got it, sir. White Mike is in Florida. How you doing, sir?
Hey, man. Well, I can't answer that guy's question because I'm not real familiar with the subject matter. But I will say that spending some time online after the terrorist attacks, the one where, Elijah Muhammad ran over folks in New Orleans
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
Jason Bourne malfunctioned in Vegas.
Jason
And-
Bourne. Jason
and
Bourne
I'm
now?
I'm watching all these people, and they think they're smart, and they're saying, "Oh my God, is it a coincidence that they both went to Fort Bragg?"
Fort
and
Bragg,
then the
yeah.
Army?" Yeah, idiot. Millions of people have gone to Fort Bragg.
It's the reason why I stayed away from that part of the story.
It's kind of a major Army base. And then they said, well, maybe they knew each other. And I'm like, I don't really think that Jason Bourne was hanging out with the IT nerds.
This is very true. Some people tried to make that leap, and the first thing ran through my mind was about Fort Bragg, and I'm going, it's Fort Bragg, man. It's like, I'm not
It's
military,
better.
and I know. Like, it's Fort
Better.
Bragg.
Even better than this. So there's some independent reporters who have like on the minute news reports on
Yeah.
YouTube, and there were shootings at malls yesterday
Yes.
in Austin, Texas, and Lafayette, Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
and these guys are panicking. Oh, it's terrorists! Like, come on, man. We know it's not terrorists.
Well, you know what is funny? Because there was a shootout in Queens, my old neighborhood, outside of a nightclub. And it was sort of reported with the same zeal that the New Orleans story was reported on. And my response to it was, hey, relax. It's Jamaica, Queens. That's a Thursday.
You can always, you know how you can tell if a mass shooting is a mass shooting committed by a white person versus one committed by like black people?
Release of the names?
No, it's the ratio of wounded to dead.
That's a good point. That is
Because
a very
when
good
it's
point.
some white guy, everybody dies. And when it's a shootout amongst black people, like 35 people get wounded.
Yeah, and 2 people are killed.
Because nobody aims and it's all Glocks with switches.
It's, you know what? Oh, man. If you're watching on ReeseOnTheRadio.com, you can only see so I have to describe it to those of you who are listening on the radio. I watched this video back in 2010 of these kids in a shootout in the middle of the street, and the video camera outside of a bodega or convenience store caught the action as the kid was firing outside of bodega down the block, and he was firing the gun with his right hand, and he was like inexplicably like firing. He was just pointing and shooting, but while he was shooting, his hand was moving in a circular motion as he fired each round, right? But while he's doing that, Mike, which is to show you, and you're going to recognize exactly why he was doing it. He had his arm across his eyes as he fired. Tell everybody why he was doing that.
Dude, I have no idea.
He was trying to avoid the shells from popping into his face.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, that was the reason why. He was jumping up and down while he was firing the weapon, like popping up, like he was doing like these sort of like 1-inch verticals, like in the air. It was like blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it was weird. And I'm like, why does he have his arm across it? And one of the kids told me, oh, that's to keep the shells from falling back into his face because they're hot.
But this guy in Vegas who blew himself up in the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Dude, we have no idea what to believe.
I don't.
He was a master of psyops, being a Green Beret. So that guy's whole thing about how he loved Trump supposedly could have been a psyop he was running to throw people off his trail. His uncle could be fake, the one who's come out and said he's a Trump supporter.
Yep.
The guy had almost no social media
None.
presence, just a few posts here or there. And when people say, well, how could a Green Beret get radicalized to be a traitor? It's like, that's one of the most susceptible people on the planet because he became a Green Beret. Like, that guy has no sense of self. That guy does what he's told.
It's interesting about this guy, the Cybertruck guys who everyone was talking about. Everyone went off the rails in so many ways. Was talking about, he shot himself in the head, and what if he was shot before then, and then the Cybertruck drove to the location and then ignited? And look, I'll admit it's plausible, but none of that appears to be the case now. I mean, every video that we've seen so far clearly shows someone operating the vehicle. So that's done, and that's over with. But that story where everybody was rushing to report that his uncle said that he was a huge Trump supporter, when we already knew, according to his neighbors, that his ex-wife and he were huge Bernie Sanders supporters. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. I mean, and again, it could be his susceptibility. He could have met a woman who he changed to follow her political leanings because she influenced him.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's a Green Beret. He's Jason Bourne, basically. That guy could be talked into doing anything under the right circumstances with the right reasons.
Yeah, and that's another part about this that I don't understand is that story about his wife had left him because he was having an affair just after they had a child. And in my head, I'm going, that's too clean. Because it's just too clean to say that, okay, so his wife left him or kicked him out, and they just had a baby, and then he's contacting his ex-girlfriend to brag that he just rented the Cybertruck. Like, wait a minute, hold on. None of this stuff adds up. This is...
I don't know, man.
It's all over the place.
Him.
Yeah.
They awakened his MK Ultra programming.
You know what? I'm laughing, but there's a part of me that's going, maybe we shouldn't laugh at that.
Who knows, dude? Maybe he got triggered over Ukraine. There's the photo of him with the Long Live Ukraine t-shirt. He could have liked Trump until he found out that Trump wanted to end that war, and this cracked him. Who knows?
Strong possibility, because he had been there. He had been to Ukraine. According to flight logs, he had been there. So you're right. It could be anything. Thank you, boss.
Could be anything, buddy.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it could be anything. I thought this guy seems to be far more mysterious than Jabbar is. Jabbar just seems like I don't know. That Jabbar guy is just, he seems so typical to me to just end up becoming a member of ISIS. And I guess there's a story that says that he won an anti-terrorism award. But I'm like, weren't they kind of giving that thing out like gum? And not to be rude or anything, but it's like that. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So I don't know, but somebody will let me know. I haven't even asked my wife about that, but as anti-terrorism awards go, like, I mean, I guess everybody gets one of those. All right, we'll take a break. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, Mark?
We're doing okay, Reese. So far this afternoon, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91 good ride, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, you'll see some slow traffic, 46 down to the Bulkley. 291 through 84, okay. 2 eastbounds in good shape, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury is a little slow, 22 up to the Mixmaster on the westbound side of 84. Southbound 95, just losing a little speed between 44 and 43 as you move down into West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun. Quite chilly. That high 42 is going to feel like it's well down in the 30s with the strong west-southwest winds. Then tonight, partly cloudy and cold, the low down to 25. Windy and colder Saturday, clouds and sun, the high 33. Going to feel like it's well down in the 20s at best with the strong northwest winds. Still windy and cold on Sunday with the high at 33. Again, feeling like it's at least well down in the 20s. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, hosted by Dr. Anthony Alessi, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts in their fields about the latest medical findings and call in with your medical question. Healthy Rounds is dedicated to providing accurate and timely health information and is sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Ratchford Eye Center, St. Francis Hospital, Covaris, and Yukon Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC, News Talk 1080, and WTIC.com. There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC News Update.
36 degrees, 4:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. A New York judge has set sentencing for Donald Trump for January 10th. This is the 2016 election interference case in which Trump was convicted after paying off a porn star for her silence, something he denies doing. In announcing sentencing, Judge Juan Merchan indicated Trump will not be jailed. The hearing will take place 10 days before Trump's inauguration. In Washington today,
Newhouse, Johnson, Norcross, Jeffries.
Mike Johnson was staring at a loss in the first round of voting for House Speaker. 3 Republicans initially voted against him, but after meeting with Johnson, 2 changed their votes before voting was closed out. That gives Johnson the speakership again by a razor margin. The final tally, Johnson 218, Democrat Hakeem Jeffries 215, with other getting 1 vote. On Capitol Hill, CBS's Scott McFarland says more narrow margins can be expected after Freedom Caucus members Keith Self of Texas and Ralph Norman of South Carolina delayed Johnson's election today.
Those members have just marked their territory for the months to come. They have shown how fragile this remarkably narrow majority is for House Republicans, even as Trump takes office. And there are much more challenging votes to come than picking a speaker, including the debt ceiling, funding through the border, and other initiatives Trump wants quickly.
A Bridgeport police officer who's on leave is under arrest in Derby. Police say Danny Soto was charged on New Year's Day with unlawful restraint, disorderly conduct, and more. Details of the incident are unclear. Soto is on unpaid leave from Bridgeport after his arrest last summer when he was charged with second-degree stalking, unlawful restraint, and harassment. He's been free on bail in that case. Factory activity in the U.S. continues to shrink.
The Institute for Supply Management's Manufacturing Index contracted for the 9th consecutive month in December, the 25th time in the past 26 months. There are bright spots, with new orders expanding for the second straight month, and production also surged into growth territory. But on the negative side, the employment index took a big hit, continuing to contract. ISM says demand is showing signs of improvement, price growth is stabilizing, and despite continuing factory layoffs, that trend is expected to end soon.
CBS's Jason Brooks. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 340 points. S&P was plus 74. The NASDAQ was up 341. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
Not all products are available in all 50 states. Compounded products are not FDA approved nor verified for safety, efficacy, or quality. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Why try Hims for weight loss? If you're interested in personalized prescription options, including Ozempic, Wegovy, oral medications, and compounded GLP-1 injections, and the support to see real results, you might like it. Why try Hims to regrow hair? If a range of treatment options made with clinically proven ingredients like minoxidil and finasteride for thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months sound good, you might like it. Why try Hims for ED? If you've been looking for access to doctor-trusted treatments like Viagra, Cialis, and their more affordable generic counterparts, you and your partner might like it. The Hims process is simple, 100% online, and treatments are shipped free to your door in discreet packaging if prescribed. What's not to like? To save big on weight loss, hair loss, and ED solutions, get started today at hims.com. That's hims.com.
You know, as they say, 1 minute. Personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online. It's up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's an airing of grievance Friday on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. We're taking your calls 860-522-WTIC. We will get to them shortly. So if you've got an airing of grievance, you want to talk about the news events of the day, give us a call at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. And as I mentioned, I'm going to have a telephone number on the website at reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. So you can air your grievance and leave a message. You can leave your grievance, and then we'll play them on the air for those of you who cannot call in during the work week. A lot of chatter going on in the chat room about the Cybertruck bomber. And Zach B. has a lot to say about this. He says, a lot of people misunderstand the role of the Green Beret. They are not SEALs. They are an advanced force that goes and builds local armies. They work very close with local populations. Typically 3 to 6 berets will get dropped into an area and raise a local army of 300 to 600 people. That's considerable. It's not likely that this guy worked very close. This guy worked very closely with anti-ISIS forces in Syria that were Islamo-fascist. Syria has been a snafu, so that could, in general, be radicalized factor if he was there. John Beckman says, so I see the rotten judge in New York City has demanded that Trump be sentenced on January 10th now. When will this ish end? January 10th, sir. January 10th is when it will end. That's when it will end. I don't know what the heck to make of all that. Judge Merchan is going to do what he's going to do, and they're going to do what they're going to do. Haggis and Whiskey is also in the chat room at Rumble. And he says, hello, Reese. How are you, Haggis? Happy New Year to you as well. We've got plenty of other stuff to get into. Don't think that we're just going to sit up here and BS all day. We've got plenty of news and plenty of views. I'm going to continue to talk about this issue with Connecticut. Also, I'm going to preview. I did not make the phone call this week, but I am going to make the phone call after the show. The young lady, Alicia, who is the student, there's a word, student who is now suing Hartford for $3 million because they failed to teach her how to read or write. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that story, but I'm certain we're going to have her lawyer on this Monday. And we may have Alicia on as well. Alyssa, I think that's her name. I may be forgetting it. Forgive me. I don't have my notes in front of me. But we'll have her on the air as well to talk a little bit about that lawsuit on Monday. So I'll give you a couple of details about that. I think what else is there? I can't think of anything else, but I'll let you know. We got plenty of news and plenty of views, and of course we'll talk about all of it when we return. But now it's time for another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, southbound side of 91 slows 33 down to 32 AMD. Northbound 91 moving while Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is slowing now as you approach the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney. A little sluggish, 84 eastbound. Hartford 46 down to the Bulkley. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, just a little slow at the Aragoni Bridge on the southbound side of Route 9. Westbound 84 in Waterbury. Once again, just a little slow, 22 up to the Mixmaster. If you are heading down in toward New Haven, slight slowdown as you move between 44 and 43, heading down into West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, partly cloudy and cold tonight, the low down to 25. Going to be a windy and cold weekend. A mix of sun and clouds on Saturday, the high 33. It'll feel like it's well down in the 20s at best with the northwest winds at 12 to 25 miles an hour. Very similar Sunday, low clouds, windy, the high 33. Again, feeling well down in the 20s at best as the winds continue at 12 to 25 out of the west. Then Monday, mainly cloudy, not as windy, but still cold, the high of 30 to kick off the new week. Right now, it is 34 in New London, Mansfield at 34, 36 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom. Tune in this week and every week to gain a better understanding of taxes, retirement income, and long-term care. The Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Life is uncertain, but Columbia Dental celebrates the new year with a resolution you can count on. Quality dental guarantee in 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. No need to take time off from work because your dental health shouldn't have to wait till Monday morning. Visit ColumbiaDental.com. As we kick off the new year, now's the perfect time to plan your remodel with Cristino Kitchens. Whether you're updating your kitchen or bathroom, a beautiful remodel can breathe new life into your space. Cristino Kitchens, located in Glastonbury, is a locally owned business with over 35 years of experience. Our expert team will guide you through every step, ensuring your project is completed with precision and care. Visit CristinoKitchens.com today to get started.
Have you ever tried something for the first time and then wondered how you ever got along without it? Thousands of new Navage users describe their first experience. Once they feel sinus relief and can breathe clearly again, many wonder why it took them so long to experience the Navage difference. Navage uses refreshing saline and gentle suction to quickly suck out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Stop suffering from congestion and start feeling better again with Navage. Brand new look, same great product.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we're
Lady just called, said she's suing for harassment, not because she couldn't read or write.
She's suing for harassment because she could. Oh, another woman said she is?
The social worker just called in from Hartford.
Oh, the social worker. Okay, yes, she is. She's suing for harassment, but I mean, yes, because she couldn't read or write, and she's suing harassment because the teachers the teachers and the administrators were kind of bullying her, and it turns out that she has all of that on tape. But like I said, we'll break all that down on Monday. But thank you. Was the woman who called in, was she a social worker for the young lady, or was she just calling in about the?
For Hartford for 40 years.
She worked in Hartford for 40 years.
Yeah.
Why didn't that woman stay on the line?
She don't want to get on the phone.
Oh, she doesn't want to get on there. Some people just don't. Let's go straight to the phone. Mike's been on hold. Mike is in Plainfield. How you doing, sir?
I'll tell you, you and I are similar. We have, I'm gregarious. I can also be sarcastic.
Yeah?
I use it as a weapon if I have to. What I'll compare my sarcasm to would be the Predator in the original movie where he heats up his blade.
Yeah.
Before he goes after his prey.
Mm-hmm.
That's my sarcasm. Ready to pounce on somebody.
What are we upset about today, Mike? What happened?
No, it's just, I'm not upset.
Oh, okay.
It's Friday. It's 36 degrees. We have a huge U-Haul facility here in this town.
Right.
And it's growing. They brought in more steel girders. They're going to add on to this place. It's the old General Electric facility. This place is booming.
Is it larger in scope for storage or for other things?
Yes, it's huge. The whole plant was cleared out, and now they got, I don't know how many storage units they have. They must have like It's got to be 500-600 by now.
Yeah, that's a big deal in the U-Haul space. They want to really dominate the storage industry because that is growing everywhere. And I think what's happening, and this sounds weird, but it's kind of always been, for me, sort of something I want to understand, but I can't quite put my head around it. As more and more people are becoming either empty nesters or are downsizing, they're not as much getting rid of the stuff that they own. So they are using storage facilities more. So that's why it's growing.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's the reason why that's growing.
The reason really that I called in, it's a grievance. These people, the public, members of the public, and people that just aren't specialized in these areas of terrorism, and law enforcement and military, stay in your lane and stay the hell out of the subject. Because all you do is cloud up. You got a million opinions out there, and these people people I just see every day, they come out with this stuff. I'm like, what? You have no idea. You're thousands of miles away from what happened. You know nothing.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's why I stopped watching the news at night. I'll watch maybe an hour of Fox News. That's all I need.
Hey, look, information is gathered in so many different ways now. You don't need it.
You just I don't know. There's so much going on. It's an overload. People need to remember that, you know what, you go to school, you grow up, and, you got to make some choices, and sometimes you're not ready to make choices when you're young. But just remember the coaches, the teachers, the instructors, all the training officers that took the time to show you, give you the basic tools to function under.
I wish the boy was here I wish the boy was here to listen to you right now.
Because if you give up or you quit, you say this is too hard, you know what? It's all a waste. Yep. They wasted all their time on you. Remember that.
Yep, indeed, sir. Thank you, Mike. Much appreciated, sir. I appreciate you. Yeah, that U-Haul in Plainville is massive. It's a huge facility, Michael B. And again, the storage industry is I don't understand it. You can't take it with you. And there's an old saying, you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I've said that over and over again in my lifetime, but I love that saying. But people will not let go of stuff. And the storage industry is huge. Do you have anything in storage, Roland, at all? Do you utilize that at all? Probably, Andy's probably doing something else. But I could never do that. My ex-wife did a lot of that storage stuff. And you're never going to get to it. If anything, you've forgotten that it's there. Some people have forgotten that it's there. It ends up on one of those silly programs, Storage Wars. I don't even know if you even remember those, if you've even seen those shows. But Storage Wars, these people put bids on them, and you open them up, and it's usually just junk no one wants. It's beds. You're not going to take somebody's bed from a storage. Who would? I wouldn't. It's unsanitary. But that's what U-Haul is really trying to own, that they want that space more than anything. It's growing the storage industry. They want to be number one. I don't even know what the number one storage company in the world is, or at least in the country. I don't even know which one it is. I couldn't do, I look at everything that I have now, and I look at the space in my garage, and I got to go, do I really need this? I have a hand truck that I use once every 6 months. Still trying to figure out why I have it. Everybody says it's convenient to have. I barely use it. And when I use it, I'm glad that I have it. Don't get me wrong, but I almost feel like it's useless just sitting there taking up space. I have a garage now that I barely put it in. Right now, it's Christmas boxes that are sitting in the garage that I soon have to grab and put up in the attic. And I'm dreading that. Why did we even put that stuff out? Why? It was pointless at best. Do you have anything, Roland, are you there? Do you have anything in storage? When's the
No,
last?
I don't have anything in storage.
When's-
Got a basement full of stuff.
You got a basement. Okay, so you have a basement. That's your storage facility. I know people, and again, that's another thing. People who have basements and stuff in the basement that they know they're never going to use again, never going to touch again. Rama says, I have a bunch of stuff in the storage unit because my apartment doesn't have enough space. Though I wonder if I really need a box of packaged Star Wars figures from the 90s. Sell them, Rama. It sounds crazy, but... And Rama, I don't think you have any kids, or at least children that you know about. No, I'm kidding. But what are you going to do with those after the fact? You're only going to end up selling them, or they're going to end up on an auction block somewhere else. I just don't see it. If you have approximately $5,000 in a storage unit for 5 years, you are losing tons of money. And I agree with that. Kevin says, I have a lot to storage. If you're not using it, get rid. That's right. I've lost a lot to storage, he said. If you're not using it, get rid of it. Yeah, it's really, I know that there are these people who talk about they're minimalist. And the people who are minimalist, I give them credit to. I need room to breathe. I'm claustrophobic. I see these people who move into tiny houses or have New York apartments. I lived in a New York apartment in a 6th-floor walk-up with a studio, 6th-floor walk-up. That place drove me crazy. The fact that I had to walk up to it. It's like when you walk in, bedroom right there. If somebody kicked in your door, it's right where you sleep. So I hated that. Couldn't stand that. I actually lived in a doorman studio, and the bed was at least in the back of the studio. There was still like a dining area and a little living room area before you got to where the bed area was. But that studio was at least, I want to say, 600-700 square feet. But I again, still to this day, couldn't imagine having too much stuff to have to put it in storage. Dan says, Reese, a lot of demand for storage is outside storage for boats, RVs, trucks, etc. Now, that makes sense. If you live in an apartment and you own a boat, you're going to need outside storage. I totally understand that. But yes, I know that that's a really, really big business. The wife and I actually considered that. We consider renting a property to do that, so we can take RVs and boats. Beckman says, what's even better than Christmas was when I woke up on the 26th and I knew that I had to take the decorations down from the outside of the house. Now, that was a merry day. Yeah, I, again, don't envy anyone. The wife was angry at me because I refused to put up lights. And I'm like, for what? I'm only going to have to put that stuff down. It seems pointless. Let's hang a wreath on the door, and we'll put like one lit candle in the window. We'll just do that. People understand it's Merry Christmas. That's all there has to be. Haggis says, I purge a couple of times a year having a tag sale. Almost everything goes for $1 each. I look at it as people are paying me to help me clean out my stuff. Yeah. Garage sales are big everywhere you go. Everywhere I go, I see a garage sale everywhere. Roland, when's the last time you had a garage sale? Have you ever?
Never.
Never? Would you ever even consider it?
I'll just give this stuff away.
You just give it away?
Yeah, I'm not going to sell any of that stuff.
Do you not think it's worth it, or you just feel guilty selling it?
It's just, it's not something... I don't really, if I have some old that I don't want to use, I just give it away.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I bought a guy's box of football trading cards, and in it, I got Brett Favre's rookie card. I got and it was all. I think I paid $25 for him in a yard sale. Yeah, I got Brett Favre's rookie card. For those of you who know Brett Favre is, quarterback for Green Bay Packers. I got his rookie card out of that. I still have it. I thought about it for a long time. I was like, should I sell it? I looked it up. It's actually only for, I think it's a couple of $100. Jim is in Windsor. How you doing, Jim?
Hi. I'd like to talk about, I'm so upset about this New Orleans. I just heard something. Some company sold New Orleans some kind of devices to stop a truck or a car from going down. And
they weren't
interviewed the
operating.
police. Pardon me?
They were not operating at the time. In fact, the chief of
I know.
police
The
there
police chief didn't know she had
didn't
it.
even know that they existed. Yes, that was
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I tell you what, Monday morning, I'm calling up the state police. Let me tell you, I'm not the brightest guy, but I think I've got a lot of common sense. You know what? You could make your own barrier to stop a truck, a car, maybe not a tank. You just take a 55-gallon drum of, fill it with concrete, stick a hook that you can pick it up and put it wherever you want. I don't know how much 55 gallons of concrete costs, but I asked my phone, how much is a Jersey barrier? It varies between $850 and $1,500. I doubt an old 55 empty drum and 55 gallons of concrete will equal that price. But whatever it is, a half a dozen 55 drums of concrete in a roadway will stop a car or truck.
You do have to think about it this way, Jim. You're talking about a town that really looked at itself as in a way that says, why would anybody want to hurt us here in New Orleans? And I can understand that there's a degree of naivete in that. And I think that what we learned so far is that the incompetence of the law enforcement or the people in charge there was on full display, which shows that not since Ray Nagin has the leadership in that area improved. Now, again, that's not a slight on New Orleans. It's just the people who were there. It's the feckless behavior of the people who were there.
I tell you, I've been to New Orleans 3 times. I love it, but I tell you what, I won't go back because unless you're walking on Bourbon Street on a normal, holiday type atmosphere, you're not safe.
Yeah,
You're
and
safe
again,
on Bourbon Street.
I believe this, Jim. Listen, you're not safe anywhere. At least that should be your attitude when you're going anywhere. You have to keep your head on a swivel. It's just the world that we live in. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Let's go to Sylvia in Bloomfield. How are we doing, Sylvia?
Oh, Reese, I'm doing great. I'm so happy to talk to you. I'm a first-time caller, but long-time listener. I did meet you a couple months ago in Farmington.
Oh, okay.
So I'm calling about storage. So I live in a 4-bedroom colonial, beautiful area with me and my little dog.
Okay.
I have every room is decorated to whatever suits my needs. I lost my husband a few years ago, and it's kind of like therapy for me, but I have everything in this house. So storage to me, I don't look at my things as storage, but I'm afraid that someday that's going to come. But right now, it is a happy place for me. And
well, you
so
get to
Sylvia,
do you treat the stuff that you have in your house now almost like a museum? You get to go in there and sort of reminisce about the days of yore.
Yeah. I change. I sit in a different room, and whatever is my mood, I'll go there for a little bit. And,
I like that.
It's it kind of suits me for whatever is happening for the day, and other rooms don't get touched and I don't have to clean them. But
you would never you would never put any of this stuff in storage. It's got to be close by.
No, but I have people tell me, what are you doing in that big house by yourself? And I'm like, come on over and hang out with me, right?
That's right. You know what? Listen, if you have the room to do it, you can afford to do it, keep it all in there. Again, like I said, I don't understand the storage thing. I know that people do it. I just don't understand it because if it's not being utilized, it's just sitting there and it's kind of siphoning cash out of the wallet. But thank you, Sylvia. I know exactly where we met, and it's a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, thank you.
You're
Happy
welcome.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, I just don't see any purpose for it. I just don't. Storage is okay, maybe for a car. Put a car there. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. You'd put a car in storage, right, Mark?
Yeah, if I needed the space, absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to park like a 1969 Mustang Shelby on the street.
No,
You put
no,
it in
wouldn't.
storage.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, you've got delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 losing a little speed moving into the tunnel. If you're eastbound 84, some slow traffic 46 into the Bulkley Bridge. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury's a little slow. Westbound 84 22 to the Mixmaster. 91 and Parkway moving well toward New Haven. 95 southbound a little slow. 46 down to 44 New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Need good tech advice?
Must be a computer error.
Tune into the Gold.com award-winning Computer Talk with Tab. Saturday mornings 9 to 11 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
God, I love technology.
Eric Semmel and Dennis Howland of Tab Computer Systems will keep you updated with tech news you can use and answer your technology questions live on the air. Miss a program? Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in from anywhere via the Odyssey app. Computer Talk with Tab. Saturday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, it'll be breezy with a mix of clouds and sun, the high 42, though it'll feel like it's in the 30s with the gusty winds. Partly cloudy tonight, cold to low down to 25. Windy and colder Saturday with clouds and sun. The high 33 is going to feel like it's well down in the 20s with the strong northwest winds. Then Sunday, low clouds, another windy and cold day. The high 33 feeling like it's well down in the 20s again. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
34 degrees, 5 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. A New York judge will sentence Donald Trump on January 10th. This is the 2016 election interference case in which Trump was convicted after paying off a porn star for her silence, something he denies doing. Judge Juan Merchan says Trump will not be jailed. The hearing will take place 10 days before Trump's inauguration. CBS News legal analyst Lori Levinson.
Trump will be a convicted felon as he stands there for his inauguration, but he can also go forward and pursue any appellate options that he thinks he has. He's not going to go to jail. He's not going to have a fine against him, but he is going to have the conviction on his record.
Merchan ruled that Trump's status as president-elect does not afford him immunity in this case. In the new Congress, after a late turnaround among Republicans in the House,
The Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 119th Congress.
Johnson could afford to lose only one Republican vote to win back the speakership. At first, 3 voted against him, but before the vote was closed out with Johnson losing, Johnson met with 2 of the holdouts and they changed their votes to Johnson. So he will be speaker again. CBS's Scott McFarland is on Capitol Hill.
Keith Self from Texas and Ralph Norman from South Carolina, who are Freedom Caucus members who have been jockeying in recent months to try to exert more influence on the powerful Rules Committee, which controls legislation on the House floor, has outsized impact. They voted for somebody besides Mike Johnson, so they kept this vote open. And moments ago, Ralph Norman of South Carolina and Keith Self of Texas came back to the clerk, changed their vote to Johnson, and by a 1-vote margin, the narrowest possible, Mike Johnson resumes his position as Speaker of the House.
Final tally, Johnson 218, Democrat Hakeem Jeffries 215, with other getting 1 vote. All members of Connecticut's congressional delegation were sworn in today, all returning to Congress, all Democrats. President Biden blocks the purchase of U.S. steel by a Japanese company.
The president said this morning a strong domestically owned and operated steel industry is a national security priority. Steel powers our country, he said, from the auto industry to the defense industrial base. And without domestic production and domestic workers, the nation is less strong and less secure. U.S. Steel, he said, will remain a proud American company.
CBS's Cammie McCormick reporting. A police officer from Bridgeport who's on leave is under arrest in Derby. Police say Danny Soto was charged New Year's Day with unlawful restraint, disorderly conduct, and more. Details of the incident have not been released. Soto is on unpaid leave from Bridgeport after his arrest last summer when he was charged with second-degree stalking, unlawful restraint, and harassment. He's been free on bail in that case. A major airline faces a federal fine.
The U.S. Department of Transportation has fined JetBlue $2 million for chronic flight delays caused in part by what the federal agency calls an unrealistic flight schedule. It's the first time the DOT levied such a penalty against an airline. A flight is considered chronically delayed if it's flown at least 10 times a month and arrives at least 30 minutes late more than half the time. Jim Crisilda, CBS News.
Wall Street, the Dow was up 340, S&P climbed 74, the Nasdaq was up 341 points. Sports, NBA on the schedule tonight, Celtics in Houston, the Knicks at Oklahoma City, and there's men's college basketball in the state, CCSU at St. Francis. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive change.
Hold on a minute.
This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Northeast Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you. It can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Northeast Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to health.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlborough, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
5 o'clock focus on a Friday. Odd. Even though it's an area of grievance Friday. But it doesn't matter. Actually, I want to read what John Beckman just wrote on the in the chat room. He's told me this story before, but this goes right in with the whole garage sale and the storage thing. Why you got to purge that stuff, and it's for stories like this. He told me this story a couple of years back. So Beckman's stepmom in the late 60s went to a garage sale, and she bought this tiny table. And the table she bought was $25. In the year 2000, she still had the table. And she brought it to that show, the Antique Road Show. They were filming in New Jersey. And I guess they ended up buying it from her. But that $25 table that she bought in the 1960s, the late 60s, sold for $600,000 at a Christie's auction. So I know there are a lot of people who are saying, like, oh, well, I don't think my stuff is going to sell like that. Yeah, I get it. But Sylvia, if Sylvia's living in a 4-bedroom house, and she's lived there years, husband's gone, she's lived there for years, living out her twilight, I can bet you. Now, again, I'm not trying to suggest this, Sylvia. I'm just saying that if you're thinking about it, you can live out your twilight, on a cruise. Maybe something in there might be worth a couple $100,000. Who knows? I saw a picture just recently. Somebody showed me a picture recently, and the pictures were of relatives of one of Henry VIII's wives. And this is a close family member of mine. And these pictures are portraits, these are paintings, oil paintings of relatives. And I know those 2 pictures are going to at least run tens of thousands of dollars, but they have them sitting in their living room, awkwardly placed, I might add. They're in the worst place ever. As soon as you walk in, it's just like, who are those people? It's really, really bad. Not that I suspect that you're going to come across something like that might be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Let's get to Mark Christopher to BPS Traffic Center, and let's ask him, is there anything that you think that might be in your house that might be worth $1,000 that you wouldn't suspect? Like a painting, like an old gadget, maybe an old VCR.
I got some old traffic lights down here.
Oh, like old, like from what era? Like 70s?
I got one in my office from the 40s.
Whoa!
Four-way traffic light from the 40s. Although I had it powder coated, so it's probably not worth as much since I did it over.
Yeah, but it's probably, for nostalgic reasons, it could go in a museum.
I got one from the probably 50s or 60s from New York State that's never been used. It's sitting right next to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. that
From
could be
New
worth
York
something.
City?
From New York State.
Oh, New York State.
You know in upstate New York, they had the light green colored traffic
Yes.
lights. New York City, and I've got one of those sitting right next to me.
Oh, that's a cool color. You got to send me a picture of that.
I will. I'll do that right now.
Okay, yeah, send me a picture.
Plug it in, too.
You got perfect.
I'll plug it in. We'll get it going here in the traffic center. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, you got some slow traffic 33 down to 32 A and B. Really not bad at all. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 84 eastbound a little slow, 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84, that looks good. Vernon out into Farmington. 291, 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Westbound 84, Waterbury slightly slow, pushing up on the Mixmaster. If you're heading into New Haven, southbound 91 in the Parkway moving well. We do have an accident in Stratford right now, northbound, right at the end of the Merritt Parkway, right before the Sikorsky Bridge. A crash between 53 and 54. That's taking up the right lane. A little bit of a delay behind that. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy and cold tonight, the low down to 25. Windy and colder over the weekend. Saturday, a mix of clouds and sun, the high 33. Going to feel like it's well down in the 20s at best with the strong winds throughout the day. The low clouds linger for Saturday night, breezy and quite cold with the low down to 24. Still windy with the low clouds persisting on Sunday, the high 33. Again, feeling like it's well down in the 20s throughout the day. Mainly cloudy Monday, not as windy, but still cold, the high of 30 for us. Currently, it is 34 in Danbury, it's 36 in Bridgeport, 37 in New Haven, and 36 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom. Tune in this week and every week to gain a better understanding of taxes, retirement income, and long-term care. The Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance, and cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
We all hear the radio ads about They tell you to be afraid, to be scared,
Got it.
and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 875-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Talk about force of habit. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Speaking of airing of grievances. We will, again, you'll go to reeseontheradio.com and probably be sometime later on today. I'm going to post the telephone number so you can call in, leave a message, so you can air your grievance when you can't call in live on the show, and then we will air them on Friday along with live calls. So everybody will have a chance to go to reeseontheradio.com and get their grievance aired. I didn't even mention at 4 o'clock the stupidest thing I read today, because Matt in Bristol is boo-hooing me right now about Brett Favre, saying that Brett Favre was a quarterback for the Jets. Who the heck is Green Bay? You know who Green Bay is. As soon as Brett Favre came to the Jets, he almost ruined his storied name. But the stupidest thing I read today was that Aaron Rodgers may very well be playing his last game as the Jets quarterback this coming Sunday, I think it is. It'd be maybe his last game as a Jet. And that's fine. To be honest with you, Aaron, good riddance. Goodbye. Never liked you. And I know there's some people out there who say, come on, Reese. He was a great quarterback at Green Bay. He was. He was a great quarterback at Green Bay. MVP in the whole 9 yards. Took him to a Super Bowl. But, as it goes, he retired too late. He should have just retired. I told everyone, do not expect Aaron Rodgers to do anything for the Jets, and he didn't. He was out 5 minutes last year. 5 minutes. Torn Achilles, and then came back and stunk up the place. Just did. It was a complete waste of time. It's a waste of mine. I bought jerseys and jackets and sweaters. I was raring to go. And that was before I knew he was going to be back. It's just because I was just getting ready for the football season. Because at least I thought he'd go 8-8. Roland, didn't I say that? He'll at least go, maybe they'll go 8-8. They won't make the playoffs, but maybe they'll go 8-8.
Yeah, I thought they was going to go 9-8.
Yeah, you really. Well, it's 18 games, so it wouldn't be 8-8. It would have been, yeah, you're right.
It's 17 games, 18 weeks.
Yeah, 17 games, 18 weeks. That's right. So, yeah, it was a possibility. But nonetheless, I knew they would be horrible. And if he goes, goodbye. And hopefully, and I do pray that the Green Bay Packers sign him for one day as he retires and just goes, good night. And then we can, first-round draft pick some garbage quarterback from a D2 league, who's really got to prove himself, and he'll give people hope, And then we'll hire another defensive coach, not an offensive one, because for some odd reason we just can't seem to do that. Do you know who the coach is we had a meeting with just recently? From New England. Did you hear? He was also a former head coach in, I think, Tennessee. Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Another defensive-minded coach. Like what? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I heard Rex Ryan is talking about coming back, but no offense, Rex Ryan was the closest we got to the promised land in a row twice with that garbage quarterback who Pete Carroll specifically told everyone not to draft because he wasn't ready. Mark Sanchez. Pete Carroll said, do not draft Mark Sanchez. He is not ready for prime time. And he wasn't. He just wasn't. Were you?
Oh, he did better than every other quarterback besides Joe Namath.
Yes. He didn't do as well as Vinny Testaverde.
Did Vinny Testaverde go to the AFC Championship?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Vinny Testaverde.
So it's a tie.
Yeah, but no. But actually, Mark Sanchez went twice. But they backed in. But here's the thing about the Vinny Testaverde thing. Vinny Testaverde proved himself to be a great quarterback, but here's why. He came from the very garbage, and I do mean garbaggio. Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Back in its orange, what is it? The orange sickle? What was the name of that ice cream? The creamsicle color days. That's who he played for.
Oh, the orange creamsicle.
Yeah, the orange creamsicle days. Yes, Vinny Testaverde was a quarterback there. When Bill Parcells took him in the trade, I went, why would they bring that guy back? And then a friend of mine who's a Bears fan, he goes, who's your quarterback? And he says, I don't know. I was like, we got Testaverde from Tampa Bay. He goes, you guys might do well this year. And sure enough, we did. Sure enough, we went to the AFC Championship game. In fact, that was the game, that AFC Championship game, the Jets held the Denver Broncos to 0 points in the first half. 0 points, 10-0. We blocked a punt in the end zone. And then, of course, we got crushed in the second half. And that was, of course, the first of the Super Bowls that, what's his name? Elway would win back-to-back. The Jets should get Coach Prime. And maybe Deion Sanders could turn that around. It's quite possible. But not his son. I don't know. I don't think that's just, if you want to ruin a team, please don't bring him. Beckman says, were you born yet when the Jets won their last Super Bowl? No. The Jets won their first Super Bowl in January of 1969. I was born in August of 1969. So, no, I've never seen them win a Super Bowl, ever. Which frightens me whenever they do well, because I keep saying to myself, can I tell you this story? I'll tell you this story. You'll love this story. The year they went to the NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game, I should say, I'm watching that game, Jets playing against the Denver Broncos, and Ray Lucas, somebody's going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm positive I'm right here. Ray Lucas, who was a backup quarterback but also a special teams player, blocks the kick in the end zone. The score was 3-0, and with that block kick, we ended up getting another 7 points. It was 10-0 in the half. And when that kick was blocked in the end zone, I couldn't believe we scored. And I grabbed the TV, the wall unit that we had the TV on, because I fell to my knees because I thought I was having a heart attack. And I was like, oh my God, we blocked, and it was 10-0, and I thought we were going to a Super Bowl. I was like, oh my God, there's no way we can lose. There's just no way. And I fell to my knees, and I couldn't breathe, and I was hyperventilating, and I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. But I would not let my girlfriend at the time take me to the hospital because, I fell to the ground, and I said, no, I have to watch this game. And I truly believe that if we won and we went to the Super Bowl, that I would actually see the Jets in the Super Bowl, and I would croak right there. That would be the moment that God was playing a sick, sadistic game on me to make me watch the Jets win a Super Bowl, and then I would collapse. I was scared to death. And then, of course, Denver comes back, and they run 135 yards on the ground. Was it Terrell Davis ran 135.
Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis ran 38 yards, I believe, in the second half of that game, and ran the ball down our throats and beat us and went to the Super Bowl. And I'll never forget that game. And I was just like, ugh. And I had to wait until 2009, 2010 for us to ever make it back again. I'll never forget. It was the worst. It's the worst. I really thought that I thought I was going to croak right then. He blocked it. Oh, it's a touchdown. Oh, I fell to the ground. I really thought that we were going to win that one. I thought it was our year. There was nothing that was going to stop us. And then Vinny Testaverde. And then the year we come back, and I was like, you know what? We got a shot. The next year, we've got a shot. We can do it. And the same thing, like clockwork. What do you think happened? Take a wild guess, Roland. What happened the next year with Vinny Testaverde? Take a wild guess.
Got hurt?
Oh, yeah. How did he get hurt? No. Pick the actual injury that he got. That ended. I think we ended up getting Chad Pennington as the backup. What do you think the injury was?
Broke his leg.
No, it's ACL.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. And it was inexplicable. If you go and watch the video right now of Vinny Testaverde's ACL tear, he wasn't being tackled. He was running, jogging even.
Non-contact.
Yeah, non-contact. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, snap. Just happened. It was almost as if the football gods had come down and pinched him right on his ankle. We'll just take care of that. Hey, here's Chad Pennington. Enjoy. And he was okay. He was an all right quarterback. Chad Pennington was okay. If it weren't for him, I would have never watched the movie We Are Marshall. That's where he went to college. And that was the school where the entire team perishes in a plane crash. Yeah. Isn't Matthew McConaughey in that? Did he play the coach in that? I'm almost certain he did.
And what?
We Are Marshall.
Oh, yeah. It's Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey, right? I love that movie. It's awe-inspiring. I know it's Hollywood scripted, but it was a very awe-inspiring movie. But yeah, that's where Chad Pennington went to Marshall. But my favorite player of all time is always going to be Wayne Corbett, Mr. Third Down. I miss that team. I miss that team. That's when the Jets meant something. They were worth something then. Now it's just, I don't even know what to make of them now. Not just they're like, I think the Cleveland Browns have a better following. I think they do. I think the Cleveland Browns are a better team. And they've got a hell of a lot of stuff to deal with. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about this Juan Merchan thing. As you heard in the top of the hour, they're saying that Merchan is going to pretty much sentence Donald Trump, where he will officially be a convicted felon by Inauguration Day. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. And I know that the objective here is to embarrass the President of the United States. And I know that people think that Juan Merchan really has it out for Donald Trump. I don't know. There's something in me. I don't know what it is or why it is, but there is something in me that says that Merchan is not going to sentence him as a felon. There's something. I don't know why. I don't know why, but something that just eerily just makes me think that it's not going to happen. I can't tell you why, but I'm almost certain that it's not going to go the way that everybody's going. And the reason why I say it is because everyone is jumping on the opportunity. It's like they're almost giddy at being able to call him a convicted felon on Inauguration Day. That Merchan is going to give them that last little, insult that they can fly at him. We now have a convicted felon as President of the United States. How embarrassing. A solemn day on inauguration that our republic would be reduced to inaugurating a convicted felon. I just don't think he's going to give. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Look, I'll come back here afterwards and I'll say, well, I guess they did it. He'll go to Inauguration Day. They'll have that little thing over him. What's it like being a convicted felon and president? That'll be the press conference. That'll be it. They'll have something to hang on. But something says, I think Merchan's going to throw a wrench in all of that. Beckman says, well, it gives other convicted felons hope, I guess. Maybe. Zach says, it'd be the best thing ever if they made Trump a felon, ultimate bad boy. We will put him on the $500 bill. Andrew Jackson beat a man, and he's only on the 20. I don't think he's going to give it to him. I just don't. I don't know why. But as soon as I heard it at the top of the hour, I said, nope, I don't think so. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. He's a felon, they say. Not you, Mark Christopher. Making Donald Trump a felon on Inauguration Day. There'll be a voice that'll say it like that.
Can you believe what Donald Trump has done?
How could you vote for this? You know, the political ads?
Yes.
And they have the really scary sounding music.
Yeah,
And
they'll
they
even do it
try-
for J.D. Vance when he runs for re-election. We're like, he served in the White House with a convicted felon.
Exactly. It's some symbolism there
Oh,
on
yeah.
Election Day. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound 84, a little tight in East Hartford as you approach the Bulkley Bridge. 84 eastbound, just losing a little speed as you move into the tunnel. Same story, 91 southbound. You're a little slow in Hartford in the right lane at 32A and B. Down in Meriden, you'll slow a little bit as you approach exit 19, Preston Avenue. Northbound 91's quiet, Cromwell up into Windsor. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury's okay, 84 and 8. If you're heading down toward New Haven, 95 southbound losing a little speed between 44 and 43 as you move down into West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. Tonight, partly cloudy and cold, the low down to 25. Windy and colder Saturday, clouds and sun, the high 33. Going to feel like it's well down in the 20s at best with the strong northwest winds. Still windy and cold on Sunday with the high at 33. Again, feeling like it's at least well down in the 20s. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Need good tech advice?
Must be a computer error.
Tune into the Gold.com award-winning Computer Talk with Tab, Saturday mornings 9 to 11 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
God, I love technology.
Eric Semmel and Dennis Halnan of Tab Computer Systems will keep you updated with tech news you can use and answer your technology questions live on the air. Miss a program? Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in from anywhere via the Odyssey app. Computer Talk with Tab, Saturday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
33 degrees at 5:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. High in the low, well, that was earlier. Here we go with tonight's weather, low around 25 tonight. North Haven police report another street takeover, this one last weekend. 2 men in their 20s suffered non-life-threatening injuries in the gathering at 2 a.m. Saturday. They were struck by a car doing tricks.
I'm fed up, totally disgusted with this because we're seeing it all over.
Police say when they arrived, the group of vehicles took off. North Haven First Selectman Michael Frieda promises arrests.
Whoever was there that was involved, whether they were just watching or whether they were driving, whatever, they're going to be arrested.
The audio from WFSB, the chaotic gathering happened on Montewies Avenue near the I-91 exit ramp in North Haven. Police are looking for a white four-door Dodge Charger with a black hood. Mike Johnson was staring at a loss in the first round of voting for House Speaker. 3 Republicans voted against him, but after meeting with Johnson, 2 changed their votes before voting was closed out. That gives Johnson the speakership again by a razor margin. The final tally, Johnson 218, Democrat Hakeem Jeffries 215, with other getting 1 vote. With President-elect Trump in Palm Beach, CBS's Ed O'Keefe reports there was high-level arm twisting.
There were phone calls reportedly here in the last hour or so between officials here in Palm Beach and there in Washington to get those lawmakers over the line. But it's a reminder that given the closely divided nature of the House, where there are going to be 3 Republican vacancies very soon because those 3 are set to take positions in the Trump administration, and where there's only a 3-vote margin over in the Senate with a handful of moderates who may swing one way or the other, we are entering a very closely divided, if Republican-controlled time in Washington that could lead to a lot of messiness as Republicans try to achieve their goals.
The 2 Republicans who switched their votes to Johnson are Keith Self of Texas and Ralph Norman of South Carolina. Memorial events for former President Jimmy Carter are just getting started. His lengthy funeral procession will include his hometown of Plains, Georgia. CBS's Mark Strassman spoke to Jill Stuckey of the Jimmy Carter National Historic Park.
Why is this moment important for Plains?
Plains is a tourist town, and President Carter is our favorite son. This town is full of people that are his relatives, that are his friends, that are his church mates. So it's going to be a struggle for the whole town.
On Wall Street, the Dow was up 340, S&P climbed 74, the NASDAQ up 341. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Not all products are available in all 50 states. Compounded products are not FDA approved nor verified for safety, efficacy, or quality. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Why try Hims for weight loss? If you're interested in personalized prescription options, including Ozempic, Wegovy, oral medications, and compounded GLP-1 injections, and the support to see real results, you might like it. Why try Hims to regrow hair? If a range of treatment options made with clinically proven ingredients like minoxidil and finasteride for thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months sound good, you might like it. Why try Hims for ED? If you've been looking for access to doctor-trusted treatments like Viagra, Cialis, and their more affordable generic counterparts, you and your partner might like it. The Hims process is simple, 100% online, and treatments are shipped free to your door in discreet packaging if prescribed. What's not to like? To save big on weight loss, hair loss, and ED solutions, get started today at Hims.com. That's Hims.
1 minute.
Have you ever tried something for the first time and then wondered how you ever got along without it? That's how thousands of new Navage users describe their first experience. Once they feel sinus relief and can breathe clearly again, many wonder why it took them so long to experience the Navage difference. Navage uses refreshing saline and gentle suction to quickly suck out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Stop suffering from congestion and start feeling better again with Navage. Brand new look, same great product.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some was $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Airing of Grievance Friday. We will get to the phone shortly at 860-522-WTIC. So stand by for that. Know what had happened was today, but make sure that you download the Odyssey app whenever you get a chance. If you haven't downloaded it, you need to download it now. Go to Odyssey.com and you can download the Odyssey app, or you can go to WTIC.com and it'll send you directly to the Odyssey app and download it. And you can listen to this show, listen to Tom Shattuck's show, you listen to Brian and Company, you can listen to past shows here and all of our wonderful programming on Odyssey. And you can even just listen to music. You know, maybe you like hip-hop and a little bit of R&B. Maybe you like oldies and Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, or Bing Crosby. I like Bing Crosby personally. But, you know, whatever you may be interested in, just check out the Odyssey app. Download it today. Hurry up. We'll get into that. I don't have really much of a grievance today. I kind of feel like I just aired it out that people don't really communicate with one another. So if you got a grievance, please give us a call, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Todd O says Biden is a felon, just not a convicted one, conveniently. Everyone saying we already have a felon in the White House. Yeah, I think that's true. The Robert Hur report officially said that Joe Biden was guilty of having classified documents. In fact, 40-year-old classified. In fact, from the 70s, they said. He had classified documents from the 70s. So dare I say 50-year-old documents that he pulled from a skiff that he had all over his house and at his place of business. So, yeah, it's beyond a shadow of a doubt that Joe Biden was guilty of those crimes because he wasn't president of the United States at the time that he took those classified documents. So, yeah. So, I mean, I guess it doesn't count if you're not a felon or if you haven't been charged. And Robert Hur refused to. I think he should have. I don't know how Joe Biden, who probably wouldn't testify in a case against himself, would ever testify, and they would ever be able to determine that he was an old man who had forgotten things. Unless, of course, they had planned to use the tapes that they had of Joe Biden as evidence that he was a doddering old man who couldn't remember things. Which, by the way, can we get that released? When Kash Patel takes over at the DOJ, can we get that? If we get when he becomes director of the FBI, if we could get that, or maybe Pam Bondi can release that, that'd be nice. I would totally appreciate that. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, can you do some Antique Roadshow for me?
And what do you want me to
Well, you asked me if I had anything valuable in the house. So
yeah,
I
what do you got?
sent you a video on Messenger, a couple of videos.
Oh, okay.
So take a look at that. Give me an estimate what you think that traffic light might be worth.
Okay, all right, absolutely.
Never been in service. Never been in
that
service.
one there, I'm looking at it right now.
What do you think?
The green one is beautiful. I'm giving you 4,000 for that one.
Wow!
Yeah,
yes.
I'm giving you 4,000 for that one.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That belongs in a museum.
The thing is, that thing's never been in service.
You just had it?
I bought it on eBay.
You got that on eBay? Do you mind if can you tell us how much you paid for it? Seriously.
I have no idea because I bought like 30 of them. So
you bought
and they're all
30?
down here still. I bought before I got married. I bought a bunch of traffic lights, and then
30 of them.
Yeah, they're down here. They're all down here now. It's a mess. It's a
Okay,
big
I'll
mess
put it
down
to you
here.
this way.
Okay.
You know what? You say you have 30 of this exact size.
No, not they're not all big like that. No, but
Oh, okay. So you got another one that's smaller than that?
yes, I have a single one, like a red,
Hey,
yellow,
what does
green.
it
This
say
is
inside of the light?
Those are called command lenses. The red one says stop, the green one says go, and the amber one says caution. And that when traffic lights first came out, people didn't know what red and green and yellow meant, so they had command lenses in them.
Oh,
so
man.
I have some old command lenses in those. It's a
This
stop,
is
go, and-
I love it. You lit them up too, so I can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind? We have to post this. We have
Yeah, I
to
don't
post this
care.
for people to see. Okay, good. All right, let me see if I can get on it. These are
Hey,
fantastic.
listen, I don't just Reese. I don't just report on traffic. I live the lifestyle. You know,
Clearly.
Exactly. I live the lifestyle. Not a lot of traffic to tell you about right now in the Hartford area. 84 eastbound, just a little slow. 44 up to 46 is an avenue. Lose a little speed there. Westbound 84 looks good. Vernon out into Farmington. Both sides of 91 moving well. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. 291, 384, okay. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into East Hartford. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury 84 westbound, a little slow by exit 22. Heading down in toward New Haven, just a little slow down between 44 and 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, partly cloudy and cold tonight. The low down to 25. Heading into the day on Saturday, windy and colder. A mix of sun and clouds. The high 33. Going to feel like it's well down in the 20s all day with the busy wind. Low clouds linger for us as we head overnight Saturday into Sunday. It'll be breezy and cold, the low 24. Low clouds sticking around on Sunday, really pesky. The windy conditions do as well. The high 33, again, feeling like it's way down in the 20s. And Monday, mainly cloudy, not quite as windy, but still cold, the high of 30 for us. Right now, it is 34 in New London, 32 in Mansfield, and 36 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Columbia Implant Center introduces AI technology to our multi-specialty practice and digital lab. We fabricate teeth replacement with efficiency, quality, and accuracy. 1 day, same day, 7 days. Call 860-730-6020 or visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition, available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
1 minute.
Don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right. It's another week in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year to all of you. Just 3 days in, and we are ready to go. So, I don't know. It's a somber Friday because I hate Fridays. I really do. I know I've said that enough times, but I do. I really do. Let's go to the phones before we get out of here. Lori's in Glastonbury. How are you doing, Lori?
Well, hello, Mr. Hoskins. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I apologize for the barrage of tweets I sent to you yesterday.
Oh, I saw them
on Twitter. I wanted to first comment on the Antiques Roadshow thing.
Yeah.
So I lived in Japan for 2 years, and
Okay.
I have an antique Kokeshi doll.
Okay.
And I would be interested to see if that was worth anything. But I also have two vases, both one celebrating my grandparents' 50th anniversary, and the other one celebrating my great-grandparents' 50th anniversary.
Now, are these flower vases or the ones that stand really, really like the gigantic ones that I really, really hate walking by?
No, they're like flower vases.
Oh, they're flower vases. Okay, those are okay. I like those. But the real people have these really big, like, the real huge ones that you don't put flowers in them. You can't put anything in them. They just sit there as the decoration. They're practically a piece of furniture, but you can't touch them because they're really delicate. And I hate walking by them because I feel like they're always going to fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're really
Okay,
huge. They look like big giant bowling pins with the top open. They just look, they just scare me.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you're interested in finding out how much, are they old, or are you, like, when I say old, I mean, do they look like old?
They both. They
Okay.
are old, and they look old.
Where would you go if you had to get them? Can you get them appraised instead of taking them to an antique?
No.
Get them appraised. Appraisers will come to your house for free. A lot of them will.
I'll have to look into all that. I'll definitely have to look into all that.
Okay,
for sure.
That wasn't why you called. What was the reason why you called?
Well, no, I'm calling because I hope and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to listen to the rest of yesterday's show.
Okay.
And so I don't even know if you even read the tweets on the air or what have you.
I didn't. I know I didn't because I didn't get to them because it's hard for me. I have like 3-4 screens in front of me. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens in front of me. You can't see them on the screen.
Oh, dear.
But I have 5 television screens in front of me.
So that's like the definition of multitasking right there.
Oh,
Holy
you have
cow.
no idea.
Oh my heavens. So I'm late to today's show as well because I was tutoring and then I went grocery shopping. So I'm late to all the things. I apologize. Well, I'm a busy girl.
That's
I don't know
okay.
what to tell
Listen, you are the perfect candidate for the Odyssey app. That's all it is. It's the Odyssey app. That's
true.
It's fine. That's a way for me to do the plug. I'm just doing the plug. Janine said, whatever you do, find a way to advertise the Odyssey app. So we've incorporated it into the show.
Oh, well then you're welcome, Janine. There you are. I'm your Huckleberry.
There you go.
are.
But no, don't worry. Listen, I will read this. I promise you, I will read the stuff that you sent me on Twitter, and I promise I will get right back to you.
Well, it was just my knickers were in quite a twist yesterday because of the whole discussion regarding the Red Sox, and I said some things that were a little derogatory about Yankees fans, but that's okay. They'll have to live with it. And I noted that the DMZ line in Connecticut really is Hartford, because west of the city will usually be Yankees fans and east of the city will usually be Red Sox fans. And those people who live in Connecticut who are Yankees fans just didn't have the temerity to hold out until we actually broke the curse in 2004.
Exactly. And then the entire state.
It.
I think that lends to what Matt in Bristol said when he said that there were so many people who are fair weather in the state because it took them to finally break the curse for the entire state to finally be Red Sox fans. But then that just, once they didn't win the championship anymore, they all went, withered away, so to speak.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And so where I was during the time of the breaking of the curse, I wasn't in New England. I was working for a ministry that had me traveling across America, and I was doing character education presentations, anti-bullying, anti-drugs, anti-drinking, that kind of a thing. And I was in Eads, Colorado, literally the middle of nowhere. They had one traffic stop, a gas station, a post office, and I think the gas station even doubled as the grocery store. It literally was just like teeny, tiny spit of a town.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
Oh my gosh! And there I am in the middle of nowhere. And what happened? It's the fourth game of the series. Oh, but previously, let me say this: before the series even happened, I was in St. Louis, and I appropriately said to the children in the auditorium, I said, "Are you all ready to lose?" To which I got, all the. But listen, if you're gonna rep, you better rep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there I am, fourth game. And the Red Sox win the World Series, and I have no one that I can call because I have no cell service. And so I'm running out into the parking lot, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, the Red Sox won the World Series, and I'm jumping up and down. The guy who owned the motel I was staying at opened the door and was like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yes, everything is fine. Everything is just fine. The Red Sox won the World Series. Isn't that amazing?" He's like, "Oh, well, congratulations." And I said, yes, congratulations.
It's a question.
The truck driver who was sleeping in his cab peeked out his window again to make sure that the crazy woman in the parking lot wasn't going to come near him. And so, and the next day at the school that I had to do the presentation at, I just said, "Happy Red Sox Day" to everyone I saw, because that's how I had to celebrate somehow, because I was in Eads, Colorado, of all places.
Yeah, that's the worst place to be, especially when something like that happens. But I love you, Lori. We'll talk to you soon.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that story after the whole story about my dad booking me and putting me in the jail. So I thought,
that's a great story too.
Good ones.
Sorry, but I love that one. Thanks, Lori. Steve is in Waterbury. I will say this before we go to Steve real quick. By the way, I spent that World Series at the TGI Fridays across the street from the Buckley Hills Mall, technically across the street from the Red Robin on that same block. Steve, what's going on, sir?
Well, first of all, I have a question, then I have two grievances and a piece of advice.
Go for it.
Okay, you brought up Bing Crosby before. So is Dreaming of a White Christmas politically correct still? Or
absolutely. Unless Darius Rucker is singing it, apparently.
Hey, talking about those command lights, that's another grievance. There are people out there that are colorblind. So it would be good if they still had that.
That's a good point.
Because I would imagine at night it might be hard to distinguish. I mean, if you got the bottom one is green, middle one's amber, and the top one's red. But
and what if they go across? What if they go? What if they're horizontal? Because there's a lot of lights that do that.
There you go. My next grievance is for the people who are saying that tariffs are going to raise prices. a lot of them want the minimum wage raise. They want the rich tax. They want corporations tax. Don't they realize that's going to raise prices?
If they're used, listen, I'll say this. I believe that the raising of tariffs is done as a tactic to get people to behave fairly. I think that's, if they don't, then we have to raise them, and of course those prices do go up. But I think one ends justify the means, because if the tariffs are used to get people to play fair and that works, then we don't have an argument. It has to be an actual implementation of said tariff to people that have to start to complain. But I think Donald Trump is saying, look, I'm going to use this as a market or as a bargaining tool to get people to play fairly. But I get your point. It isn't lost on your point.
Right. I agree exactly with what you're saying, too. I'm just saying their logic, they're not seeing it that way.
Exactly.
The other thing the last thing I wanted to say, that unfortunate incident happened there on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
That person, I'm not saying this is the reason, but that person, I understand, had gotten divorced, owed a lot of money, his business was failing, whatever. And that may not have anything to do with it. So many people run into situations like that and they do stupid things. And I've seen so many people that made it very well because they had adverse things happen in life, but they got themselves through it and, started another business or whatever. So it has, like I said, may have nothing to do with why he went the way he did. But for anybody that might have problems in life, you just got to be perseverant. You got to just kind of work your way through it.
Indeed. I agree with you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the call and the grievance. Let me say this before I take the last one. There's an important thing to note about this Jabbar guy. And what Steve just said is 100% right. A lot of us go through things like that. This guy had 3 failed marriages. Toodaloo. Hello, this guy right here. 3 failed marriages. He was going through financial upheaval. Toodaloo. Hey, that's this guy right here. Been through all of that. But there's one thing about this Jabbar guy that cannot be missed. And again, Steve is 100% right. People need the help that they need or need to talk to somebody when they are in need or they get into these dire situations. But for this guy, there's only one thing that I'm going to note. This guy said in his YouTube videos that he was going to take this out on his family. Now, I'm not in any way saying he shouldn't have taken it out on anyone. But he said he was going to take it out on his family. But the reason why he chose otherwise was because he said that the news media would not recognize his message of the believers and the non-believers. This piece of trash was selfish, self-centered, and didn't give a damn who he hurt. His family was only spared because he wasn't going to get the notoriety that he wanted to get from the media. That's what really makes this guy scum. That's the true part, the true nature of this guy's, intellectual state. He was an egomaniac, okay? And for what he did, the police did the right thing. This is not a guy you take into custody. You finish him. Let's go to Rick in Wallingford. How you doing, Rick?
Good evening, Reese. Thanks for taking my call. I'd like to end the week on a brevity note.
Sure.
This female geriatric captain there in New Orleans.
Oh, sure.
I think if they want to continue that Leslie Nielsen, Lieutenant Frank
Drebin, Naked Gun
episode, I think she'd be the perfect candidate for that. And I think the foil of O.J. Simpson, I'd go with Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know what to name him,
Oh, yeah. You're right. That's right. You're talking about O.J. Simpson's role. Yes.
Yeah, Lieutenant Shakaroni. I don't know about George Kennedy. I don't know. You might want to come up with something for that, but I think that she'd fit the role perfectly.
You're absolutely.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, man. You too. And I couldn't agree with you more. Gosh, is that Did you hear that the DEI, the other assistant, the young black woman, Alicia Duncan, whatever her name is, with the nose ring? Somebody said that she's been reassigned and she may be up. They may be firing her, or at least reassigning her for some odd reason, because she got so much pushback that she refused to call it terrorism. That's the reason why they took her off the case, because people were so upset about her even being there. I'm so happy they removed her. I have no idea why they put her out there. It made no sense to me at all. No understanding of that. Anyway, what you going to do? All right, folks, it is time for us to get out of here. I want you all to have a wonderful weekend. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. He is Mark Christopher with a very cool video. I'm going to post it on my website in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark. So you have a great
good night,
weekend.
Reese. Yeah, you too. We'll see you Monday. And if you're heading into Hartford right now, we're seeing a little bit of a delay. 84 East.
All right, good sir.
Thank you, sir. And you're out on Monday.
See anything on camera?
Yes, I am.
Where you going?
It looks like whatever's
Out of
going
town?
No, it's my daughter's birthday weekend. So
you
taking
guys
her.
You guys do the whole 3-day thing.
Yeah.
You taking her somewhere?
We're going up to the casino. She want to eat at the Sugar Factory and go shopping and all that good stuff to catch a show and stuff.
Still, now, I know the last time I remember she was like 13. Was she like 16 yet?
15.
15 now. Huh? Yeah, take her shopping. Makes sense. Tell her happy birthday, man. I'll see you on Tuesday.
I will do, sir. See you later.
You got it.
Head down into Middletown between the Cromwell-Middletown line and the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury's okay. 91 in the Parkway. Good ride toward New Haven.
Oh, gosh. This is the reason why I hate Fridays, because we got to get the hell up out of here. Sokolowski, you have a wonderful weekend as well. Zach and Haggis and Rama, all the rest of you. I hope you guys really, really enjoy your weekend. I will be back here on Monday. Don't forget to check out Sunday's show. I think it's at 6 o'clock Eastern. That puts it at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Yeah. So 6 o'clock Eastern. It might be 5 o'clock Eastern. I can't remember if it's 5 o'clock. But anyway, you got to go to WTIC or you got to go to Odyssey app. See, the Odyssey app. There you go again. I keep putting it in there. You guys keep going. I love you guys. Be good.